Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly, marshal today. I'm going to go to the old Deadlands one, because today we are introducing the Brothers Green to Savage Worlds Adventure Edition, published by Pinnacle Entertainment. This is the most recent, at the time of recording, edition of the Savage Worlds pulp game. How the hell do I start a game without grabbing a pen? I guess I'm writing nothing down today, guys. With me to introduce the Brothers Green to Savage Worlds, we have a host of stars from the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel as well. We are going to be playing an adventure set in the savage setting of Ripper's Resurrected. Ripper's Resurrected is kind of a low-powered superhero horror adventure set or game set in the late 19th century. It's kind of a globe-trotting, pulp adventure kind of thing, but you'll get the sense of it once we dive into the game and you hear who our heroes are playing. So why don't I go left to right here, guys? Tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what's your level of experience with Savage Worlds. First up is one of the Brothers Green, Darren.
Hello, Darren here. Today I'm playing Hector Jimenez, who's a double-gunned gunslinger by the looks of him. And this is my first time playing Savage Worlds.
Nice. Next up is Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl, and I'm playing Brother Ulysses Stone. It looks like he is some sort of holy warrior with a large sword. I have played a lot of Savage Worlds. This is my first time. No, I played Rippers before also, but I played a lot of Savage Worlds. Really enjoyed the game.
Nice.
Glad that Spike Pit and Arfit are here.
Yeah, you played an all-star dwarven fighter mage back in our Iron Gods campaign.
Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, I like a Savage Pathfinder.
Mm-hmm. Next up is David.
Hi. Greetings, everyone. I'm David, and I'll be playing Sir Benedict Clayton Shackley, wealthy aristocrat with a penchant for the occult. And I've played and run, I think, Explorer Deluxe and Adventure Edition. So I tend to throw them all together and have to remind myself which rules changes happen in between.
Nice. Next up is the Ultra Brother Green, Colin, a.k.a. Spike Pit.
Hello, I'm playing Victor Korab, the Polish, seemingly a big mouth. I don't know how I ended up playing this character, but he's big, he's bad, he's a monster hunter, and of course he's got a big old axe. So nice. I feel like I'm getting typecast at this point. Except I picked the character myself, so I've only got myself to blame. Nice. But I've come out of semi-online gaming retirement for this one, and good to catch up with some old buddies.
Hell yes. It's so great to have you back too. And last but certainly not least is Jamie.
Hello everybody, I'm Jamie. I'm going to be playing Rachel Radcliffe. She is a occultic detective and a phenomenal investigator who has some sorceress skills of her own and a quirky personality, to say the least. So looking forward to it. I've played Savage Worlds once before. Once before,
okay, nice. So let's see here. The things, we're going to dive in and we're going to tackle stuff as we go. I tried to write this to give it as a mechanical introduction as well, too. So let's jump into our story. Or, as Savage Worlds like to say it, a savage tale. Our scene opens on a near cloudless night, a moonless night, a sky full of stars, and only the sounds of the jungle to disturb what is otherwise a placid and huge lake. What we would see in the film version of our campaign is a white lettering that would go across the screen referring to the location, which is Golfo Dulce, 1895, the Republic of Guatemala. And we hear the sound of an engine going. And what we can see making its way in the dark with no lights on across the lake is a small skiff with a very elaborate giant boiler on the back kind of apparatus going. And there appears to be 5 individuals who are on this skiff. One says in a English accent, "Do you see it? Are we there yet?" And another in a thick Polish accent, "I see nothing." And a third, a woman this time, "Wait, there." And on the coast, to your right, what you see coming out of the darkness is what you have been looking for. Let me go to the map layer, make it a little bigger for you, and put your tokens down. And we hear that first English accented voice say, "Castelle de San Felipe de Lara." I'll put that in chat for you. Now, let's learn about dice rolling. So one of the ways that Savage Worlds differs from some other games is rather than having like a set dice that governs all mechanics, it has different sized dice for all of your different abilities. So you'll see that your attributes and your skills all are assigned a certain dice score. That's the kind of dice you roll. And there are 2 types of characters in the game. There are wild cards who get access to a wild dice, which is a d6 that you roll alongside your attribute or skill. And there are extras. Extras don't get to do that, and there are some other ways they differ. What that means is I'd like each of you to give us first a notice check so you can see what happens. So why doesn't everyone give us a notice check? And I believe anyone who has any benefits for any of their skills I have included already. So it should add to that. All right. And in Savage Worlds, holy smokes, guys, we're really starting out with some cold dice here. The way Savage Worlds works is all you need to roll is a 4 to get a success in most circumstances. 4 is the starting target number for anything, regardless of what your size of your dice is or whatever. Range attacks start at 4 and then are modified by range and whatever else. Okay, so we didn't get any exploding dice in here, but that is okay. We got a 4 from Sir Benedict, and we got a 5 from Sir Korab, and we got a 6 from Ms. Radcliffe. So all 3 of you, I guess the names that I inadvertently used, or voices I used before, all 3 of you can see this. So what you can see is this is, as I said, Castilla de San Felipe de Lara. This is a castle that guards the entrance, or at least it did, to the Golfo Dulce, also known as Lake Zabal. Lake Isabel. Lake Isabel is where you want to go. Your destination will be somewhere within. So with that, you are able to turn and begin navigating past this. And as you're looking up at this grand structure, it brings you back, or brings you to a bit of a flashback here. One of the neat things with Savage Worlds Adventure Edition is it incorporates a whole bunch of different like narrative kind of mini games and what we will do is we're going to do a little bit of an info dump here by way of flashback. So, and again, in our film version, we'd be looking at this, and then we would flash to this, a sepia tone photograph of the same thing, and we would then see a hand go down on it. There it is. This is what we're looking for, says Sir Benedict. Now, Sir Benedict, why don't you give us a, let's see here, I think it's academics. Check, please. Holy shit. Now we get to talk about raises. So the other thing that comes up in the game, increments of 4 are the things that are important in the game. When you exceed something, when you exceed it by 4, that in a skill test, it generally counts as a raise, and then it doesn't mean anything else. There are some things where like multiple raises will matter, but in most cases, if you roll an 8 or higher, once all modifiers are in, that's great. Then that's a raise. You get an extraordinary success. So Sir Benedict, this is the picture you're looking at. This is Castello de San Felipe de Lara. This was built originally in 1644 by the Spanish crown to protect the entrance to Lake Isabel from pirates. It was named or renamed after High Judge Lara y Mogroyo. Lara y Mogroyo. That was in 1651. It was a mere 7 years afterwards. The reason that's important is because the Imagroyo made some substantial and secretive changes to this thing. There is also another interesting tidbit. So, within Lake Isabel, there were originally, when the 17th century came around and the Spanish came in, there were a bunch of different settlements and forts that were set up within there. And let me show you. You then slap down, schwack, the map of, whoopsies, move all you guys, including the map. There we go.
Nice map.
Yeah, this is actually contemporaneous with our adventure.
Yeah, looks it.
Right in here, and it's because it's super racist.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay.
This here, guys, is Lake Isabel. And there were settlements all along here. The Castile is right around here. So you will be getting further in. And you cannot see it in here, but there are mountains all along here as well as massive mountains along here. So it is sort of surrounded by it. It makes it difficult to get around Guatemala so there is, at this time, this lake, which is, or not lake, this river, which is the... I wrote it down, but I can't remember what it is now. In any event, there is a river that goes further inland, and it is used for trade at this point, but really the only settlement that remains, or the only structure that remains, was this castle, Castle de Lara. The settlements in here, unfortunately, very shortly afterwards, what necessitated the building of the castle in the first place was because of pirates. This is what Sir Benedict is telling you. However, those were generally English privateers and some other, rival nations, some Dutch privateers. But what really became a problem for this region was a group that they later called the Mosquito Sambos. Mosquito Sambos were a group of mixed race, basically pirates, who terrorized the Mosquito Coast, pirating, raiding settlements and whatnot, to the point where there were no other settlements left in here, with the exception of one. But we'll get back to that. What brings all of our disparate heroes together from Mexico, from the Great Britain, from Poland, has been a catastrophic magical event that killed an entire town in California. You five have been investigating the cause of this, and there are some clues that you had that have led you down further south. At first, what you thought may have been Incan remnants of some kind of Incan device in the thing, you later more correctly identified as Mayan. And more investigation found that there were strange things being sent from Guatemala. And the stranger thing seemed to be that it was a hacienda located in Guatemala along Lake Isabel that seemed to be the source of this. Things have been coming and going from there. This has been months of investigation. I mentioned that the Mosquito Sambos had been a terror, leading to pretty much the abandonment of every single hacienda down there. in the contemporaneous records that you came across from the Mosquito Zambos, who, again, for nearly 200 years have been raiding up and down this region, they managed to destroy every single other settlement except for Hacienda Mogrovejo. Mogrovejo, named after the same judge who refurbished and reworked the castle. That remained untouched. There is no reason given in the diaries and journals that you found in ship's logs other than everyone knew it was a cursed place. You are destined for this. Hacienda Mogrovejo is where you were going. Now, as you are making your way along here, you expect to find Donna Josefina Maria Grandos y Mogrovejo. She seems to be the mastermind of this. And the curious thing is, either she has been passing down her name, or that family has been for 250 years, or there is something else amiss. The horrific creatures that you have seen work their bloody havoc on the chain of evidence leading you from that ruined town in California down to the coast of Guatemala, it speaks to a more sinister explanation in all likelihood. So, leaving the Castile behind, we see our heroes making their way into the massive, sprawling dark of Lake Isabel and headed for Hacienda Mogrovejo. Now, let's talk about how you choose to approach this hacienda. You expect that there are monsters of some kind there, based on what you've come across before. You expect Donna Josefina to have potentially some powerful magics. The most obvious way to approach here is from the water. Go down to one of the docks leading up to servicing the hacienda, make your way up, and then see what needs to be done. You could also dock further and make your way through the jungle. So, you guys have had months of planning to get this into motion. What are you guys thinking? Victor may have something to say about this.
We know how big the hacienda is.
It has been. It is 250 years old. It's as old as what the fort is, so it's likely to be quite sprawling. You can also expect servants, likely guards, as well as what other things. You have not seen it yet, but what's said as well is lurking just behind in the foothills and shrouded in the jungle are ancient Mayan ruins as well. And that certainly is something that seems to have been connected to that atrocity that occurred in that dead California town. Truly a ghost town.
I'm picturing Victor up the front of the boat there, sort of standing with his arms crossed, just eager to get in there, really. He just wants to get in there and start smashing things with his axe.
So frontal assault is what Victor votes for. Now, for the setting, I was less concerned about the particulars of the setting, but just for your edification, each of you guys come from a different faction of the Rippers world. So you guys can see yourselves as sort of you're like a Justice League, as it were, of the different, factions, because we've got Hector is part of the Slayers. Ulysses Stone is part of the Order of St. George. Sir Benedict Clayton Shackley is part of the now disgraced Rosicrucians. Victor Korab is part of the Witch Hunters. And Rachel is part of the Old Worlders. No, sorry. Rachel's part of the Witch Hunters. Victor is part of the Old Worlders.
Ah. Well, that's quite interesting.
Mm-hmm. I'd say Savage Worlds does a great job of taking some of the ideas that like the 90s werewolf or 90s White Wolf games did, where you got like clear identities and clear kind of like archetypes to make your character around. They do it like that, but it's less restricting than what those old archetypes were. But so Victor has made it, so we go and we crash in. Like, no.
Yeah, he's probably looking a little bit kind of edgy, maybe doing a bit of pacing around and like scowling at the driver. Faster.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Brother Ulysses is also one for a frontal assault. Why hide what we need to do?
Okay.
So he kind of agrees with old Victor there. I say we just go up to the docks, announce ourselves. What have we to hide?
It would be a shame to undo months and months of research and careful planning on some frontal assault when we do not know how many guards they have or what monsters might be lurking nearby. Surely caution and a carefully planned approach is a better way.
I agree with Sir Benedict. I think we should be a little more cautious. I admire acting bold, but we may need more caution in this case. Perhaps we can dock near the nearby woods and pass through to get closer before we act so boldly.
Hector, any thoughts?
Well, to go along with the loudmouth, Hector's impulsive, so he'll be just pointing his gun at random things like birds and things, and just sort of like playing soldiers, like bang, bang, as if he's killing everything.
Hector, why don't you give us a notice check once again, please?
Okay.
Okay, 5 is your highest roll. The way contested rolls work is highest roll goes to them. So let's take an opportunity for me to do something elaborate and unnecessary. Grabbing a dice, rolling a dice, and I'll ask you, do you want to spend a Benny to re-roll that? Or are you sticking with 5 as your highest?
It's got a D4. And does it replace it, or do you get to pick?
It replaces it, but all dice explode. If you roll the maximum of any dice, it explodes. You roll it again.
I'll stick with it.
Okay. So then, what you see. I actually rolled less than you. I just wanted to try and get you to spend a penny. You're putting your hand up, and you're kind of looking.
Old tricks.
And then something as big as perhaps like a California condor goes flying by, but thicker in the body, off in the direction of the western end of Lake Isabel and the direction of Hacienda Mogroyevo.
Can I take a shot at it?
Yeah. So I think everyone has been like casting their votes for this, and they turn to you and say like, Hector, and you're like,
They got some crazy wildlife around here. And I'll point up to it so everyone can see it, obviously.
Where the heck has it gone? Doesn't everyone give us a notice check once again, please? Let's see if someone gets a really good one here. Look at that, 6.
See, it's not a raise, but
Still pretty good, though. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Ulysses, or Brother Ulysses, you look over and you think you can see about half a mile off from the boat at this point, and flying off in that direction is a huge, perhaps the largest bird you've seen in these things. And birds your experience thus far in Central America has been quite big. This is a very big bird. So
I kind of point that out. It's leaving, right? You said
it's heading off. Yeah. It's heading across the lake in the direction of the western end of the lake, at least. So then, guys, here's the decision.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I think with the arguments that they put forth, they convince Ulysses. Kind of says, well, perhaps we can compromise and let us not do quite a frontal assault, but as you say, which was Sir Benedict.
Well, your keen senses and spotting the wildlife have actually given me an idea. I might be able to do some reconnoitering on our behalf before we firm up any decisions about what to do. Is this the first time we're all working together as a group, or have
you guys
we had
know?
months of planning?
I think over the course of you've all been following sort of different threads in this. Victor, what your connection has been thus far is that there is your connection has been that there has been some kind of dealing with, shall we say, Romanian counts with people in the New World, and that has led your interest because vampires. No good. Rachel, your interest thus far has been some kind of strange. There's been strange, not correspondence, but shipping. Odd shipments that have been coming in from somewhere in Central America into London itself. You have yet to uncover it, but there was something suspicious, and your divinations have suggested that there was. You followed up and you found then that there was a mystical connection with this, some looming threat, and it led you to the New World, where the same person who was shipping things to London had also been shipping things to, strangely enough, California, and seemingly a town in the middle of nowhere, and of no value. No gold mine, no, whatever. And that's what led you into this investigation. Brother Ulysses, you and Ms. Radcliffe have worked together before, and you came along as muscle to support her investigative measures. Hector, you sort of were following along with some smugglers and whatnot, making their way across Mexico into the United States as part of a... There was just something supernatural about it. You seem to continually stumble across these things. And on the course of your travels, you found the strangest thing. Sir Benedict Clayton Shackley had been investigating supernatural threats in the backwoods, back deserts, and back jungles of Mexico. So you two had been traveling together. All five of you sort of all fell in together in the course of, the events leading to the catastrophe in that town. And it is an entire 800 people slaughtered, their life force seemingly drained out of them, and evidence of some grand magical working behind that tragedy. So that's how you sort of, and since then, it's been about 4 months of investigation and following up leads that have taken you all the way across the southern United States and then down into Central America, pillaging the resources and Central and South America, I should say. And it's only now that you seem to have all the pieces together, and it is this Dona Josefina who seems to be the one behind this. Why she's doing this, what she's been shipping, that you're hoping to uncover at the hacienda. So,
in which case, my companions might realize that I have some magical abilities that might have come up in the past. But one of the tricks I have acquired over the course of my long life is I am able to change my shape. I could soar majestically above the hacienda and see what can be seen, and if anything stands out or other avenues of approach might be possible. Of course, by employing magic this close to someone who is behind the sort of level of magic we have seen in California, I might be giving the game away, and they might have ways of detecting
why don't
magical approaches.
Sir, that's a good question, actually. Sir Benedict and Ms. Radcliffe, would you kindly give us spellcasting checks, please? Oh, Brother Ulysses, you've got magic as well, don't you? Hold up.
Yeah, I have some spellcasting.
Let me give you... I forgot to give you your PowerPoints here. Hold on.
I have a cult.
I will use the Benny on mine.
Okay.
Or is that Faith? Faith is my...
your Faith is yours, yeah.
Yeah. Where the power... Okay, I don't need...
I got your PowerPoint set up on your token now. I didn't have it done before.
Okay.
So just give us a Faith check.
Faith?
Yes, please. Okay.
Okay.
All of you can feel there the more you get across this lake. So what Sir Benedict and Ms. Radcliffe can detect, you are coming towards a place of power. There's definitely a focus point, a connection, a nexus of ley lines, as some scholars would put it, where magic will be even easier to work and even more powerful. Brother Ulysses, I think your interpretation of this may be that the power of the devil is quite strong in these lands.
Mm-hmm.
So, what we're going to talk about next is dramatic tasks. Dramatic tasks is basically Savage Worlds' version of a skill test or a skill challenge. So if the plan is for each of you to sort of do a cinematic kind of thing to get yourself at least in a position to act before whatever is at the hacienda is aware of you, rather than just charging in, this is how we're going to model it. So each of you can make a test with, you pick a skill, we filled in the narrative of what it's going to be used, and then once you've generated 3 tokens of success, then you guys will be in a position to infiltrate without notifying the inhabitants of Hacienda Mogroyevo.
Oh, cool. So, so for example, like Sir Benedict can use his changing ability to contribute.
Yep, we just make a spellcasting tech. On a success, he contributes 1 token. On a raise, he contributes 2. On a fail, you get 1 fail.
Yep.
Okay, so
we decided we're going to kind of pull off to the side and then start to kind of hack our way a little bit through the jungle to come, not a direct assault, but a sort of direct, a side assault, let's say, from the flank. Is that our decision?
I think so.
I agree with it.
Yeah, well, Victor is actually quite stealthy. He's quite good at survival and stuff like that. So maybe I could, if we're gonna go sneak in, I could perhaps take point on that. And
I like the way he describes it, like he bit into something he doesn't like. You're saying it as if you bit into something that doesn't agree with you. If we really have to.
Yeah. Well, that's it. You know, he's happy to go. He's happy to go with a group decision, and it just so happens that he's actually not too bad at being sneaky. Should the need arise.
So let's. Where did I? Oh, I didn't set it up yet. Hold up. Oh, that is not the map I want. Here we go. Let me get rid of this. Bin you. And then duplicate. That. Okay, so jungle at night, eh? That sounds.
What do we think about that flyby idea as well? We're going to kind of try and do both?
Yeah, I think what you can do, you can actually do both, because what we're going to do, let me show you here. So you need to get 3 tokens. What we can picture in the film version of our adventure 2, you sort of find a place where it's low enough for you to be able to stop there. And then Sir Benedict, for the dramatic task, why don't you give us a spellcasting check?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so 1 success. So what does it look like as you transform into something, and what do you transform into?
Sir Benedict will sort of step away from the group a bit, and as he sort of walks, he'll sort of intone some words in languages that have not been spoken in quite a long time. And as he does, his form starts to shimmer and sort of takes into the air. And rather than going with a large condor bird, I think he'll turn into, on the way over, he'll have noticed what the kind of parrots or sort of birds of paradise might be quite common. So he'll turn into very common-looking, indistinguishable from the rest of them. And then just sort of recce ahead a bit to see, if there's any other settlements or anything else in the way. So that'll be his contribution to.
That is
the task.
1 of 3 tokens achieved so far. What you find, Benedict, is that there appears to be, while the hacienda is still there, it seems abandoned and it seems like it may have been abandoned for quite some time. I can also tell you, you need not spend any power points for this, because this region is flush with power. And as you fly back to your friends, you can see, you can't really see it illuminated because there is no moon, but cutting a black hole in the sky, towering above the jungle, there is a Mayan ziggurat that sticks out less than a mile away from the hacienda. Almost as if the hacienda itself was built intentionally this close to the ruins. You can see as well a horde of bats seems to come out of the ziggurat and then disappear off, searching for their prey in the darkness. So you return and share that information with your fellow Rippers. Who would like to go next? Only 2 more successes needed.
Yeah, I guess Brother Ulysses was thinking either, are we gonna, if it's jungle and thick, he could like take out Old Bastard, and that's the name of his trademark weapon, and cut his way through. Or if we're gonna take a more sneaky approach, he will look at Rachel for guidance, and he can sneak through.
Okay.
He pulls out Old Bastard and looks at Rachel, and makes a motion to like use it as a machete.
Yeah, I think Rachel will kind of nod as you're lining up your shot and kind of point in the direction that we think is the best heading.
Okay, so he's gonna start hacking his way through the jungle.
Yeah, so I think it's athletics more, because it's not so much an application of skill as it is just strength and muscle.
That's what I was thinking.
So go ahead and give us an athletics check.
Okay.
Here we go. Big money.
Oh,
Nice. That brings you, so with a raise, that brings you right to the cusp of Hacienda Mogrovejo. I keep saying it differently because my Spanish is fucking terrible.
What? How do you spell it? What is it?
It's Mogrov. I'll put it in chat.
Mogroyo? No, that's the name of the
It's
woman.
Mogrovejo.
Mogrovejo. There you go.
Okay.
Mogrovejo, actually.
Mogrovejo. Okay, there we go.
Mogrovejo.
Okay.
And it's not a double L, so. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Mogrovejo.
So this is Hacienda Mogrovejo. This 250-year-old hacienda does appear to have seen better times. There does not appear to be a single light on anywhere in this structure when you break out of the jungle, and the jungle has been allowed to nearly completely reclaim this entire area. There is a relatively clear path leading down to a dock near the bottom, but all of you, likewise, if Sir Benedict, you made comment or made mention of that massive ziggurat in the back, you guys can see that looming even higher or taking up more of the sky than the mountains that lay behind it. What do you guys wish to do?
I think Rachel may try to use her knowledge of the occult to see if she can't maybe ascertain what this area is being used for, and if there isn't been any rituals or other sort of supernatural things that she could pick up on.
Okay. From here, unless you've got a magical, like you've got all the spellcasters should have, except for all the spellcasters, not Brother Stone. You guys also have Detect Arcana. To determine the stuff you want, you're going to want to reconnoiter more of the actual hacienda. You're going to have to head in there.
Okay.
Yeah, we already know there's like a pervasive high level of magic and
I took what
sense of evil, right?
Ms. Radcliffe is looking for is more evidence of the same type of thing that you know.
Gotcha.
Do I have that right, Jamie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys want to make your way in, then perhaps that might be.
Okay.
I think at this point, Kev, in the film version, you get the old close-up of Victor, just the eyeballs scanning across the thing, and unshoulders the Winchester, and just is like
Nice.
raises an eyebrow, and is on full alert now.
Hector, you've seen that the big pole has drawn his firearm.
Oh, I'll give the old gunner a twizzle on the finger. You know,
I think you've got
360.
two actually, because you're.
I'll do them both at the same time. Then.
Yeah. Okay. Both are out.
Yeah,
All right,
hold
guys.
I'll give Hector an appreciative nod, like, nice.
So what you find is this is it's as I said, like imagine 250 years with unfathomable money coming in to continually build this place out. This is a sprawling. It's a sprawling, ridiculous, noble manor in the way that colonial manors, the only colonial manors can really achieve. It is a massive garden that has completely gone wild. There are guest houses, there are servants' quarters, there are stables, there may have been a zoo at some point. And then there is the enormous and oppressive in a Gothic cathedral style kind of way. If you think of, I know that Gaudi's cathedral was built well afterwards, but it's that style of unnecessary ostentation added on here. And the money and expense that it would have taken to build this thing in the middle of the Guatemalan jungle is unthinkable. But this thing looms before you like some kind of cathedral to the dark. One of the things you also notice, because you are all mindful of it, there is an awful lot of replications of not just a lot of Spanish buildings will incorporate references to Christianity and whatnot. That is noticeably absent here. This incorporates in a Western or romantic kind of style many representations of bats. Camazots is the Guatemalan or traditional indigenous people's bat god.
Does this pique Victor's interest, this bat thing?
Makes more sense why they may be talking to the Count then. Still no sign of life whatsoever. Who is the first to step inside? And how do you light your way as well, I suppose?
I was going to say Hector's super impulsive, so he'll be keen. He'll even probably just, what are we waiting around here for? And he'll probably give it a little jog as he just starts heading towards the front door.
Nice.
Guns in hand.
Yeah, I'll just be looking to cover him in case something jumps out.
Would you each give us a notice check, please?
Ooh.
Holy shit.
Oh, that's good. Oh, dang.
Okay. Victor. Whoa! Miss Radcliffe. Yowza. All right, so Miss Radcliffe, you're after the Juarez kid starts scampering inside here, skipping along. You're shaking your head, and you hear the sound. It's the sound of like flesh hitting stone. Victor, you hear this as well. Fuck. As if something heavy landed on or somehow jumped down on somewhere on this 5-story entrance to the hacienda.
Can I do I get a sense of the direction?
Up at least 3 stories. Unfortunately, because of the dark, you just can't see what it is that's up there. But something, like either a really big bird or maybe a monkey or something.
I think Rachel might try to use her dark sight to see if she can get a better view of it.
Okay. Would you give us... Excellent. Okay. So you... What does it look like as your eyes become attuned to this?
I think she sort of is able to get almost in a trance-like state for a moment, and she's able to kind of see almost like a foggy outline of things in the dark in front of her that almost look ethereal from this distance, but she can see the shapes very clearly.
Okay, so you're looking up, and what? Let me make the. I'll give us one more notice check, please.
Okay.
Whatever made that sound, nothing's moving now. And there's so many details, like bat eating a man transforming into bat. There's just a huge amount of detail in this. It's very hard to pick out any one individual thing, and it is, just resplendent with gargoyles of various kinds, all with the exact same kind of theme to them. Bats. It's perhaps for the best that your companion, Brother Stone, cannot see this, because he would likely see this as an unholy shrine, taking the trappings of a Christian church and converting it to some blasphemous demon. But it appears that, and Victor, you know something has been moving up there, but you can't see it because of the darkness. Hector seems to have gone inside. What are Sir Benedict and Brother Stone doing?
Well, if Rachel's gone inside, and then Brother Stone's gonna follow close behind.
Rachel was standing outside. She was using her magic to look up. So both her and Victor seem to be looking up.
Yeah, he definitely draws his weapon. Probably like you referenced. Probably mutter something about this unholy blasphemy.
Okay. Probably
is thinking about the prayer he would recite to make his sword even more of an old glorious bastard than it already is.
And Sir Benedict?
Seeing as it's sort of quite dark and we're heading inside, he will draw upon his mastery of the elements, and so just a flame like a torch will flicker into existence in his left hand to provide some illumination for those who cannot see, like himself, who cannot see in the dark.
Great. Go ahead and give us a spellcasting check. You should be able to click on your spell, I think. Yeah. Look at that. And with a raise, what do you get out of a raise in this?
Don't think it does anything special on a raise, this one.
No, so if you have any pitch for what you might get with a raise, I'm happy to entertain that. Oops, sorry.
Just maybe brighter, like providing more than just a normal torch illumination, so
sure.
Just flames that provide more light.
So, Victor, you're actually looking up at this, and this sudden appearance of light seemed to make it only worse because of the strange shadows being cast further up that seem to dance as if they're alive as that flame moves and flickers at the end of Sir Benedict's hand. Still no sign of anything up there, though. You hear as Hector throws the doors open into the hacienda. And there is no light whatsoever in here, Hector.
Yeah, I'll be just looking over, waiting for someone to turn up with some light now. I'm just peering inside and listening. One
thing you can see, it does appear as if there are, there are sheets thrown over everything. Even for the first entrance, there's a table right inside that seems to have some kind of piece of art on it. There's a sheet over that. There's a sheet over a piece of furniture, maybe a clock or something, or an armoire on the left. And looking in, it's almost like this place is haunted by, furniture ghosts, because it's full of everything that does remain in here does seem to have sheets cast over them.
I'm going to look to break off a table leg and start wrapping some sheet around it to make some sort of temporary torch sort of sound.
This stuff is built to look pretty, not survive. So I think all you guys are waiting outside, and you hear this crash of something from within the manor house. And if anyone runs up to the door, what you can see is Hector, wrapping tearing some cloth and wrapping it around the end. Oh.
Yeah, I think that's enough to get Victor running over to the door when he hears something crunching and cracking and that.
Okay. So as Victor, Sir Benedict, are you heading up as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so with Sir Benedict's light, you come up, and what you can see, I think, Victor, is going on your great roll from before. You get in there, and you look around, and your eyes go up, and there is an entranceway, like a nave in here that's been built, and there's this gorgeous, like, domed ceiling within. But it is a work of horrors. It is like blood and creatures and bats reaching out. There's some kind of strange tentacles worked in that as well. And dead humans bleeding out. That fills this thing. And the artistry makes it almost all the worse for this. When you think of the amount of time and dedication that would have been put in to make this horrific thing a reality. Hector leans the torch into Sir Benedict's hand. You now have 2 burning things. And Rachel, you can still see quite easily. I will tell you guys, you're regenerating power points so quickly at this point in this place, you don't need to worry about keeping track of castings just yet. You'll be able to maintain your things for free. And it's almost like it's almost intoxicating how powerful this place is.
I wonder if, feeling that it's unholy, I wonder if Brother Stone would come to that temptation. Because, I mean, he could, if that's the case, I mean, he could get his weapon going, right? But
what you could choose to do, if he's choosing to see it, that his power, it comes from God, he could feel his connection with God, like God wants to drive him to destroy this stuff.
Okay. Well, I think, I mean, if it's, so would that count for smite too then?
Yeah.
I don't have to.
Yep,
okay.
you just maintain it.
Yeah, he's just going to cast it then.
Yeah.
Just to.
Well, you need some light anyway, right? So.
Yeah, I need some light anyway.
The fiery sword of the Lord.
Yeah, so he's gonna. That's a cult, right? He's a cult?
No, faith for you.
Faith.
If you just click on the spell, it'll roll the proper.
Oh, right. That's cool.
Yeah, character sheet's quite good.
Are you letting rip on the ceiling, Carl? Is that what you're doing? Yeah.
No, he casts colored glow runes and sigils. Probably.
I think for yours, it's probably just fire. That seems like a.
I like like white fire, like holy white fire. Like you see in the illuminated texts of with the angels. Yeah, they have their flaming swords, right?
Yeah.
So so that kind of barbs, like fire, like barbs, grow from the blade, and it's yeah.
So. This is well illuminated between Sir Benedict's invocations, through Hector's torch, and through Brother Stone's fiery sword. You're able to see much in here and start exploring in here. The one thing you find is the art in here is distinctly, it is either very, leaning very heavily into Mesoamerican mythology, and particularly the bloodier sorts, and there are tons of representations of Camazotz, the god of bats and murder and night. What you find, let's do this. Why don't who would like to give us a we're going to do we're now going to learn about assisted task. It's not called that, it's called, what is it called in this game? Support, I think? Maybe? Let's see here. Rules. Because the way this works is one person will take the lead, but then other people will assist that task. Support. You make a check, and then if you get a raise, or if you get a success, you get +1 to the main person's roll. If you get a raise, they get +2 to it. So who would like to take the lead for this occult roll, and who would like to support it? Does everyone
I
have
have-
occult?
Yeah, I
Rachel
have like a.
is
Yes.
pretty good at occult.
Yeah, I can support. I wouldn't say I would be a lead, but
Okay.
I can definitely support.
Okay, so
Happy to support Rachel in this.
okay, so
Yeah.
Rachel's gonna take the lead. Then everyone who is supporting, go ahead and make your roll.
Oh, nice.
Nice. So +2 from Brother Ulysses. That's 4. That's 5 from Sir Benedict. Victor, do you have any training in occult? Oh, you already got
Yeah,
that roll. Who are we missing
yeah.
then for support?
Hector's
Sir
got nothing.
Benedict, Victor, Brother Ulysses. Hector, do you have training in occult?
No.
No. Okay. So then, Rachel, you're going to get +5 to your occult roll.
Oh,
Nice. 12. 2 raises out of this. So what you can picture is that you guys are searching the whole bit of this building, and what you guys are searching for in particular is the secret rooms. Because obviously, in any kind of pulp supervillain's lair, there's gonna be secret rooms. And you find it. I believe it is probably one of the larger fireplaces that is like designed up big, a big stone head of a bat with demonic features to it that is set up. Lots of quasi-Mesoamerican mixed in with Celtic designs. Like, it's a very bizarre design, and you find that by pulling right underneath the bat's jaw to kind of make it close, it opens back, and there is a secret thing going down.
Ooh.
What do you guys wish to do? There's stairs going down underneath this hacienda of horror. Yeah, plenty of...
Everyone standing around looking at it, then Hector would just push past.
Well, I
to
think
see what's down there.
I think from experience, everybody just stands around waiting for Hector to go down there, because otherwise they're just going to get barged out of the way.
So Hector heads down, followed by whom?
Rachel would be right behind Hector. She's insatiably curious about this place.
Okay. And then?
Sir Benedict will follow.
And then?
I feel like Victor probably brings up the rear because he probably don't really trust anybody else to do the job properly.
Okay. So Brother Stone and then Victor. Victor, would you give us a notice check once again, please?
Oof.
Okay. So you spare a look back. You could spend a Benny and re-roll that if you'd like.
No, you'll not tempt me that easily, Mr. Muser.
So you look back, and with their lights fading away, you're the last one standing. The darkness continues to crouch in on you as you look down these stairs. You can't hear anything, and that perhaps worries you more. Turn, and before you being left in the darkness, you head down into the basement. Hector, you're the first one to see this with you come out with your torch, and you feel like you have stepped back perhaps several millennia. Because as you step out into here, there are the very, very old buried remains of some kind of Mesoamerican ruin. These laid out, and it seems as if this entire structure is but one room leading into... like this is like a preparatory area before moving into a altar. Because as you move into this, from this area, this small staging area at the base here with all these designs, and again, many, many designs of bats and Kamazots and all these, humans being sacrificed or fed to Kamazots. And again, strange tentacles coming out of a pool. It leads into a much bigger chamber. And Hector, you don't need to make any check for this, but it's very big under there. Very big. There would be opera houses that would be envious of the amount of space inside this chamber.
Kev, do we get a sense that this is headed in the general direction of the ziggurat?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Does it seem like anyone's been down here in, many, many years?
Good question. Why don't you give us I think it is a survival check.
Can I assist him with that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead and give us a survival check there, Victor. Look at that. So +2 to it, which means Hector's roll is a 5. So the two of you maybe walk up, Hector, and you're looking down. Victor, claps you on the shoulder. You're like, you didn't realize he was there. He points down. Look. There are, you didn't get a raise with it, but there are tracks going in here, and there are tracks leaving as well. Lots of booted footprints and some barefoot, and ones you don't recognize. Victor, what's your occult score again?
D6.
D6. Okay, give us a occult check, please. These are definitely not animals. You could spend a Benny and re-roll if you want.
Yeah, go on, I'll spend it.
Okay, so hit re-roll. Nice. Okay. Yeah, the feet. It seems as if it's not so much the feet, which are clearly animalistic, if large. It's the sort of like knuckle scrapings that are ahead, almost as if something was quasi-bipedal, moving around on rear legs that are inhuman and front legs that drag.
Yeah, I'll bring this to the attention of the group. I'll pause and crouch down and be studying it, and I'll motion to maybe who would I know might know a little bit more about the.
Sir Benedict is a pretty clever fella. His academics, I think, is quite. Rachel, what is your academics?
6.
Okay. So perhaps if you could assist Sir Benedict. He is quite long in the tooth.
Let's take a look at this, my dear.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, your eyes will be better than mine.
+2. So +2 to your result here, Sir Benedict.
Yeah. It's not rolling it.
Is it prompting you for any kind of modifier?
No.
Somewhere? Let's see. Sir Benedict. Nope. There we go. So, and there's yours. Okay. All right. So +2 is 9, which means there is a raise in here. This is not quite right, but you know what moves? As if, and there's another one. And another one.
Nice.
He's just naming all the books he read. What you find is not only are there, I guess it's not quite the same thing, but you know what also moves on kind of like its knuckles and then has rear legs?
Giant bats. There is probably an element of Sir Benedict. Well, according to Professor such and such, or according to the book of, there'd probably be that, his element.
It gives the Latin designation of what it is he's talking about. Everyone's like, what? And he's like, a bat.
Yeah, a giant bat. I mean, judging by the prints, they would be rather large, and worryingly so, given the decor we have seen so far.
And would
we
you
might
guys
have to prepare ourselves?
Let's see here. Who's got the best notice check?
It's definitely not.
The 8.
I'm an 8.
I'm a 4.
Okay. So why don't Sir Benedict and Ms. Radcliffe each give us a notice check, please? So at the saying of that, Ms. Radcliffe, you hear something is flying high up in that chamber that these tracks lead into.
Sir Benedict, what genus of bat do you suspect this to be? And she'll be pointing up towards the sound as she's asking him this question.
So you're moving into, it must be some kind of large interior, like sacrificial temple space or of some kind, or some temple space of some kind. I don't want to say sacrificial.
It would be the monstrous type. The blood-sucking, flesh-devouring type. We should prepare ourselves.
And with that, can Victor open fire in the direction of that noise?
He'll be blind firing at this point, but yeah, absolutely.
You said the magic word monster.
Yeah. Go ahead. Give us you should be able to click on your weapon.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
This will be the Winchester.
Okay. So while that does not hit anything, it does trigger something. What was one thing flapping is now several. And you have something land in front of you. Some things is a more accurate descriptor. So let me first get the tokens ready here.
Well, I've got nerves of steel.
Heck yeah.
Why do I think that could be useful?
Fear is a proper thing. Oh, for those listening at home who may be more familiar with Rippers, we're not going to bother making use of the reason skills. There's already enough rules for people playing Savage Worlds for the first time, so I'm not introducing optional rules that only apply in the one game. Here is what lands. There are 5 of these things. And I will let you guys describe for us what you think they look like. Here you go, guys. Enjoy.
Oof.
What the?
They look like... Wow, what are they look like? They're kind of baboon spider bats.
Yeah.
Who hurt you?
Yeah.
So, what is landing down is... Oh, wrong thing here. There we go.
Nasty ting.
5 of them. Almost as if there was one for each of you. So, guys, here is how initiative works in this. I'm going to draw cards for you. Boom. And then what we do is we go high to low. Am I in the wrong? Well, what layer am I on? I put them on the wrong layer. Put on a DM's layer. There we go. Okay. It goes high to low, and then it goes reverse alphabetical order for the cards. I don't think any of you have any special abilities that, you draw 2, take the better, or anything like that. And then for them, all right. Now, I'm acting on a 2 of clubs, which means I am only beating Sir Benedict Clayton Shackley. You can spend bennies to get more, and in fact, I'm going to spend one of my bennies. I get a benny equal to the number of players to draw a new card. There we go. Now I got to beat my 7. Not quite as good as I could be. Anyone want to spend a benny and get a new card?
Yes, please.
Okay. And Hector, you be acting after me as well. Oh, ace. Nice. Hector, you'll be acting on a 6. We go top, aces high, down through the suits. I've got a 7 of hearts right now. You have a 6 of hearts. And Victor, you've got a 5 of spades. So both of you would be acting after me. Do you want to spend a benny, get a new card?
Yeah, I'll go for it.
Okay. There you go. Queen of clubs for Victor. And Hector?
Yeah, please.
Okay,
Yep.
so spend a benny. You could spend another one if you want.
Now I've decided the cards are against me this turn.
Okay. All right. So if you change your red bars, what tracks your bennies, if you could reduce that by 1, then we go top of the round. So Sir Benedict Clayton Shackley. Every round you can move and you can take an action. What are you thinking? These things are probably about, they've only landed about 10 yards away from you. So they're quite close.
I will step back a little bit so that the people like Brother Stone and Victor are definitely between my frail elderly body and these monstrous things. And then I would sort of focus on the fire in my hand and just throw some of that flame at one of them.
Okay. So let's see.
I am casting Bolt.
Nice. So go right ahead. Holy, so that's a hit with a raise. It means raise is 3d6 damage. So...
Just click on roll damage, I assume.
Yeah. I'm assuming, so remember, you can't spend extra stuff, so just add your extra... roll damage... add the bonus damage in as well. So that is an 11. Give me a sec here. Get their stats. Okay. Here we go. An 11 is enough to shake one of them. So red dot means they're shaken. and they're spittling. They're those sacks of blood underneath their face or their heads are just sort of moving back and forth. That is it for you, Sir Benedict. Next up is Victor. What are you doing, Victor?
Yeah, I think he's let off one shot with the Winchester, and as they come down, he's more or less tracking them, and the one that's just got hit, he'll take a tactical decision to shoot the injured one.
Heck yeah. Yep, focus fire. Go ahead and give us a shot now. And you want to shoot just once? Nice, sweetie. Anna says hi.
How many times do I get to shoot?
Well, you change. Let's see here. The rate of fire. What is the rate of fire? The Winchester. Let me take a look here.
Yeah, don't say.
Let's see here. It might just be one. In which case, you could take 2 shots, but it would be at like the way rate of fire works is that if you've got something that's a rate of fire greater than 1, you get to roll multiple dice as one action. You can also choose to take like 2 shots, but you would take -2 to each of the shots.
No, I'll just stick with the one.
The one. So that is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage. And if you roll a raise on your attack, you get to roll an extra d6. That's why that bonus damage is showing up. That is not a great shot. You want to spend a Benny and re-roll damage?
Yeah, that's rubbish. I don't like that.
Okay, go ahead. So click on... There you go.
Same thing.
God damn it. All right, so 6 points of damage.
AP2, if that matters.
Oh, that might. Let's see here. No, unfortunately, these things don't have armor, really. So that is... It hits this thing. It does not seem to... You've winged it, or like through its wing, but it doesn't seem to, do much. Next up is Brother Stone. What are you doing?
So Brother Stone, they're all on the ground? Right?
They are on the ground now, yeah.
All right, so he's going to... he can move and attack, yeah?
Yes, and I think these things are close. What is your speed?
He is his pace is 6, so it's like normal.
Pace is 6. So you may need to run in order to get in there.
Oh, they're that.
But hold on, what is the charge action though? Well, I said 10 yards, right? So what
I think each pace is like 2 yards. I thought.
Oh, maybe it is. Hold on, let's see. I know they changed in addition to the to be inches. Let's see here. Pace. Combat movement. Here we go. Each inch of movement. Oh, that's different. Yeah, you're right. 2 yards for each thing. So yeah, you're able to easily race in.
So I have this ability called First Strike. So I get a free attack and then a regular attack.
That's when things move into you.
No, it's if I
click on the ability.
Immediately after I move into reach.
Just click on the ability.
Okay.
Once per round, as long as it's not shaken, then he gets a free. Oh, I always thought that. I always thought it was when things come in on you.
No.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. So go ahead and make
That's a nice one.
Yeah,
well,
definitely.
That means you have to be active. You can't just kind of sit there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that fits with the ethos of this. So go ahead and.
Yeah, he's going to attack the injured one first, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Then he can get another attack.
Go ahead.
Are they next to each other? Or are they like far apart?
Yeah. They're sort of close enough to Atlanta. They're trying to intimidate you guys with numbers.
Okay.
But go ahead.
So I'll roll.
Yep. So that is a hit and a raise. So go ahead and roll damage.
All right, I'm going to add, since I have Smite on, I'm going to put a 2d6 on the bonus dice.
Okay.
Because Smite gives me a d6. Is that all right?
No, just roll damage and then roll separately 2d6.
Roll a separate d6 separate.
Yeah.
Okay. So
wait, Smite does only do 1 extra damage?
Oh, it doesn't matter. No, it does 1d6 extra damage.
1d6 extra damage. Okay, perfect.
I don't think it's going to.
Okay, holy shit. So that is, what does it look like as your flaming sword tears through this?
If this thing is evil, it just like explodes and burn, and the goblins burn.
Yeah.
And he's going to turn and strike another one.
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, that might be
that is a hit. but no raise. Go ahead, roll damage.
So I'll roll the damage and then I'll roll a separate d6.
Well, this one we can just take your bonus damage as the extra damage.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Right?
Okay.
So, oh, that's not great.
10. I'll use
so
a Benny if I need to.
that is 10 is enough to shake it, not kill it. Do you want to re-roll that, or?
I will use a Benny to reroll that.
Okay, go ahead. Come on, big money.
It's the same. more or
Okay, so
less.
you clip this one, but they are terrified of your flaming sword.
Okay. So
Then
it's still shaking, or is it?
Still shaking. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Then
that's not bad.
let's see here. Clubs are before hearts, or reverse alphabetical order.
Reverse
so hearts are before.
yeah.
Yeah. So now it is these things turn. So the shaken one will need to make a spirit check to try and recover.
Or you can spend a Benny to unshake
it's also undead. It doesn't get doesn't get shaken.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So then it will and leap in on you there, Brother Stone. Once
So
you
I
have
made it.
not
Oh, they don't
acted.
get shaken. Oh, that's nice. Okay.
And then let's see here. This last one. Yeah, I'll be mean. They're mean. Okay, so we got on Hector. What is your parry?
5.
5. Okay. So this thing leaps in. It lashes out at you with two of these claws, and you're ducking and weaving and keeping your distance away. It's just not able to get in on you. What is your parry, Brother Stone?
Brother Stone is an 8.
Yeah, nice. Okay. I got exploding dice. I did manage to connect. And so I'll roll the second one. I'll roll damage afterwards. The other one is not able to get in. You're just sweeping that flaming sword back and forth. What is your soak? Or your toughness, rather?
Brother Stone, he's not as tough. He's a 6.
6, okay.
You guys can hurt.
If I was running this on an ongoing game, I'd use the option, I think, of +3 to toughness for unarmored, because you just generally don't wear armor in this game. I think Victor may be the only one who actually wears armor. I rolled 8, so I think you're just shaken.
Okay.
Okay. And you could spin a Benny right away to unshake if you like.
Right.
Then on Ms. Radcliffe, what is your parry?
4.
4. Uh-oh. That's my 2 1s are not going to do it. So in spite of this thing racing on you, claw-ended wings does not connect with you. The mouth is just snapping at you still. But that's it. Rachel, you're up next. What are you doing?
Rachel is going to lift her arms and cast a bolt on this creature in front of her.
Right ahead.
And you'll see some almost like a dark green shards shooting from her fingertips, emanating towards the creature as she attacks.
Oh, you want to Benny that to reroll?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's
A
terrible.
miscast. All right. Then, but it wasn't a fumble. So, then last one's up here. Hector.
Is there any penalty or anything for dropping my torch and pulling out my other pistol? Or?
No. That'll go for free, and then you've got that advantage to be able to.
Kid.
Yeah, so you can make 2 attacks without penalty.
And he's pretty startled by this thing. So can I fire both pistols twice?
Yes, you can. It'll be -2 to hit with each of your rolls, though. So why don't you do the first 2? Holy shit. Okay, so roll damage from that first one. You got a raise on it. So that's 10. So with your first pistol, wrong button. You've shaken it. Go ahead and roll damage from that second one. This is just the first damage roll. Oh, you want to spend a Benny to reroll that damage?
Yeah, I will do, yeah.
Okay. So
much better.
5. It's crap. Then you have 2 more at -2.
And there's no way of doing that, is there? I'll just roll it and see what... There's no way to apply penalties, is there?
Holy shit. Nice. So that's another hit. Go ahead and roll damage with that. That might be it for this first one. Yeah, so you blast that first. You got one more attack at -2. Where do you want that one to go? There's
Just
one on
the next
Rachel.
one
There's
along.
2 on
Yeah.
Brother Stone.
The next one, Brother Stone.
Brother Stone. Okay, go ahead.
That's what I rolled.
Yeah, so you can just hit reroll on that. That probably will.
No, that was it. That
Oh,
was,
that was it. Okay, yeah. So go ahead and make your attack roll.
That was a 6. That was the second one.
Oh, this is the second one. Okay, so that is a hit.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll damage. It's just no bonus damage.
Even with a minus, that's still
Yeah,
a hit.
that's a 4 is all you need
Oh, it's always a 4. Okay.
for this range. All right, and that one is shaken. All right, so one of the two gets shot. Brother Stone leaving open for you. Guys, that is the end of round 1. Let's do this. Everyone gets a Benny.
Nice.
As is customary for when you finish your first round of combat in Savage Worlds. Let's do things again here. Here we go. Hector, a dog shit card for you. Brother Stone, an ace for you. Sir Benedict, Jack, Victor, 4, and Rachel, a 10, and the bad guys, King of Clubs. Would anyone like to spend bennies to get a new card?
I don't fancy my chances against that king.
Okay. All right, then. First up will be Brother Stone on your ace. What are you doing?
I'm muted. Sorry. So I am going to roll spirit to see if I can unshake.
Oh, right. Did you spend a Benny to unshake?
No,
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
I can, but I'd rather.
And I think in adventure, as long as you succeed in it, you get to act right away. You don't need to raise
Nice, barely, but
Yeah. So
right. Unless there's a minus, Is there a minus? Because
No.
Okay.
You are good to go.
All right. So he only gets 1 attack this round, but he's going to attack that one that is on him. That's shaken. Thank you, whoever shook it for him.
So he's doing just 1 attack on the shaken one?
Yeah, because he has to. I feel like the way it's written, he has to.
Over
move
frenzy. Yeah. You need to sort of be in there. Yeah.
All right. So he's going to attack the one that's just a focus fire. He might have heard Victor yell focus fire.
Yeah.
In Polish. So.
Yes. That
7.
is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right.
Holy shit. Another of these things goes up in flames.
Yeah, I guess that one, like the bonus the flame damage is like really torched it.
Yeah, 23. Holy smokes. All right. Yeah. They all seem to be very susceptible to fire as well. All right, so I got 2 critters to attack here. That one that's on you is going to try and drink your blood, Brother Stone. And, I got an exploding dice. Let's say, just barely enough to get on you. So no raise. And let's see here.
Toughness is 6.
Toughness is 6. Alrighty.
I was just thinking Victor probably said something more colourful than focus fire.
That's a 7, so I shake you once again. That's it. It gets in and you sort of knock it back. And then on Ms. Radcliffe, this thing is going to try, once again, tag you with those flailing claws. You said your thing's a 4?
Yes.
Oh. All right, so I hit you twice. Hello. Anna's not happy that you got hit. What is your toughness?
5.
So you are shaken and you get 1 wound from this first claw that rakes across you. Do you want to soak that with a Benny?
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead and give us a vigor check, please.
Vigor.
Yeah.
Vigor.
Oh, God. You want to spend a Benny reroll?
Let's go for it. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Come on, big money. There you go. Okay, so you soak the 1 wound. And then the second hit, you are shaken, though. And the second one, that's a crap roll. The second one is just going to be 1 wound because it's a second shaken condition. So do you want to soak this one or just take the wound?
I'll take this one.
Yeah, okay, you hear Ms. Radcliffe cry out, Brother Stone. Oh, and then, so I think you can just mark 1 wound on your character sheet. Next up is Sir Benedict. What are you doing?
Well, seeing Rachel in trouble, I will reach out towards her and mutter some arcane words, and the mystic glibs of protection will wrap themselves around her as I cast protection on her.
Nice. Oh, you gonna Benny that?
I will use a yes. Sorry, let me phrase that. I will use a Benny to.
Okay.
There we
Holy
go.
smokes! 21.
So,
Oh, it's
So-
a raise.
Plus 4 to your toughness. So, and what do they
Crazy.
look like as they appear around Rachel?
just like sort of geometric protective glyphs. Some probably sort of like depending on people's beliefs or faith, they see different. Like Brother Stone probably sees like crosses and things, where someone from a different cultural background might see whatever in their culture works as sort of a glyph of protection or ward against evil.
All right. So you have some protective ward around you now, Ms. Radcliffe, and it is your turn next. What are you doing?
I think she'll sort of roll her eyes for a moment when the globe appears. You know, having seen this before, she knows that Sir Benedict's behind it, and while she appreciates his protection, she feels like she's capable of. So she's now gonna turn her sights back towards the monkey bat in front of her and cast her own bolt at it.
Okay. That green fragmented. Whoa! All right. And how much did you put into it? Was it just the regular casting?
Regular cast.
Regular
Yeah.
casting. Go ahead and roll damage, and we'll add the bonus damage in.
All right. Let's see.
Let's see. Come on, big money. 9. The green power plays across this thing. Whoop, wrong button, Madison. And it is shaken, leaving itself open for further damage. Victor, you're up next. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think where Victor saw this kicking off, he's already been like running along. He's you can see he's like enraged.
Yeah.
And he wants. Is there kind of some sort of move where he can like just pile into this thing, like full on, and like bodily just crash it up against the wall in a kind of.
Are you trying to do damage to it, or are you trying to like grapple with it?
He just wants to kind of, like if he was, imagine this guy was sort of a quarterback, and he was just coming in to flatten him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's...
Okay, so are you intent on doing damage to it, or are you intent on securing it? It sounds like you're just trying to knock it aside, right?
Well, it kind of, like, is there not like a wall or something nearby that... Yeah, he just wants to kind of pile into it and just whap it up against the wall.
Okay. So why don't you give us a fighting check
Okay.
on this?
Yep.
So that's good enough to hit its thing. Now give us a strength check, please.
Okay.
So I think you just roll a strength.
Can you just click on that, can you?
Should be, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
9 is enough. So what I'm looking for is how much damage he did to it. So you come in and like, get off her! You hit this thing. It flies back and smashes against the wall. Blood spews out from its head and kind of slides down. It's the one on Rachel that you were going for?
Yeah. He
Dead.
saw her in trouble, and before with his shield and everything, he was already on his way,
Yeah. Niet. I don't know what Polish word for no is.
No.
And then it is Hector's turn. What are you doing, Hector?
Yeah, I'm just going to fire off 2 shots at this one standing in front of
Okay, go ahead.
the brother.
So no penalties here.
Yeah.
It's your first shot. That is a hit with a raise, so go ahead and roll damage. That's 11. It is shake. Wait, it actually might be dead. Hold on. Similar. Yeah, that's actually so a single shot through this thing's head.
Nice.
Brother Stone, you turn to bring your fiery sword down on this, and there's this pop, and its head blows out the side, and then drops down dead.
And Hector just be there, blowing the top of the gun like he customary does.
Okay. So as you guys are taking a surveying the surrounding to see what if any other threats are present. You hear from behind you the cry of something and the sound of footprints. Someone is trying to run away from you.
Make chase.
Okay. Why don't you give us an athletics check there, Victor? You want to Benny that?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Well, nice for the raise. So what you find, Victor, you're like a linebacker. You just are racing up. You come around the corner, and what you find is there's this small, like mestizo man, mixed race man, who kind of looks back at you, and he's dressed in the shabby robes or shabby clothes of a butler or a servant of some kind. And you're able to just either knock him to the ground or grab him, whichever you prefer.
I'll grab him by the scruff of his neck and try and lift him up.
Yeah, easily. So if the rest of you follow up with him
around a bit.
Victor is carrying along a squealing small. This man's only like 5'2". So Victor, it seems like he's carrying a child of some kind. But he walks back in. What do you guys do?
I found this. And I shake him a bit. Speak.
Oh, what do you wish to know?
Who are you?
Yeah.
I am Diego. I am a servant to the mistress.
Shake him a bit more when he says mistress.
Where is your mistress?
She is gone far from here, far away. You are too late. Her plan comes together. The grand working in the heart of Empire. It will come. You. And he seems to be directing this at Sir Benedict. You will see. Your queen will fall, and a queen of blood will rise.
I don't like your tone. I'll shake him a bit more.
So he's shaking well.
So I ask him, did she fly away on that beast?
She is long gone. Everything from here taken with her. I don't know why he's got an accent like that. I can't help myself. I can't like a South American accent, not appropriate for me to be making. Eastern European, a little more forgiving. So he says, Anna says, no, I shouldn't do that either. He says, she's gone. She's gone. All of your actions, centuries of planning, all come together in your home in London. You look at one another.
It's very helpful to know. Thank you very much for telling us this. You wouldn't have a specific address in London, would you?
No, but it is too late. She is gone weeks ago. You look at one another. Now's what I can tell you. Just like a lot of the pulp things that inspired Savage Worlds, Rippers has a proud tradition of the little airplane going across as a dashed line goes across. There is no airplane in Rippers, mind you. But just because she has left and appears to have a head start does not mean the game is up. So, is there anything else you guys would wish to do with him or anyone else before you try and give chase to Dona Josefina?
No, I mean...
Any other information you want out of this clown?
Do you take him with us, you think?
Who else is here?
None. All are gone, except for her children. And he looks over at the dead bat things.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, maybe take him with us. Maybe he'll come in handy later.
Can I just shake him some more and just say, "You're not telling us everything. You're not telling us everything." And I'm intimidating. I want
Sure,
to intimidate
give us an
him.
intimidate check. Let's see.
Tell us more. You're withholding information.
You spend a Benny?
How's my Benny's looking? Oh, yeah, I'll spend a Benny.
Oh, and a raise. Does he know anything more?
I think I'm out of Benny's, actually.
She will bring him, the master. She will bring the master through. The blood of your empire, the heart, will fuel his return. And he looks over, and he's looking directly at the mosaic on the wall that shows tentacles coming out of some kind of pool and a ton of bats and humanoid bats around it.
So that sounds like he's talking about a king or something. Would that be right?
He says something will come. If she said that your queen, Victoria, is the queen at this point.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he said that her queen will die, that your queen will die so that her queen can ascend.
Wow. And she's going to summon this tentacle beast guy.
So whatever magic was used to destroy that California town, it killed 800 people in one, in one single action using some kind of powerful magics. Imagine London at this time has a population of 5.5 million.
Okay.
What happens when someone dies is, in this world at least, is there is a release of psychic energy or powerful energy. This is where hauntings and such come from. If you have that many die at that time, that's a huge amount of, unthinkable amount of energy you suddenly have to work with. And if you happen to be working some kind of other occult thing, it can work unthinkable magics. And if you think of the way that this place focuses magic, those of you who have the occult, imagine then having something that amplifies that. If she's been shipping in stuff, Rachel, over the past couple of years, they may very well have been transporting actual masonry and whatnot from here. Her dark design may be coming together. The fate of the empire, the crown, and indeed the world may be in your hands. Why don't you all take a penny? What do you guys wish to do? Anything else with this clown?
What?
I think as we leave, or when we leave, just the last one out will be Sir Benedict, and he see how sort of evil this place is and what it's sort of done, and as he sort of leaves, the flames in his hands will sort of roar up, and all of the sheets in the rooms will sort of start catching fire. And,
that's
awesome.
Just
knew this place should be destroyed.
Nice.
Just leave.
So things are going up. Brother Stone, if you still have your I think you have a cap of 3 bennies. I don't think you're able to have more than
oh, okay.
Yeah, there's certain characters who have talents that allow you to call more.
I didn't think there was a cap, but that's cool.
I think it's 3. I could be wrong, but
it's 3.
Is it 3? Okay, yeah. And then you got one like Elan allows you. I think I have 4, or maybe Elan does something else. Anyway. So then, as you guys are going, the entirety of the Hacienda Mogrovejo is going up in flames. Anything else you wish to do before we transition to our wipe to our international map? Then, allow me to grab your tokens here, and you guys will be arriving back in old London town. So why don't we take our mid-session break right now, refresh our beverages, let our crazy dogs outside, and then we will come back and talk about another neat mechanic in Savage Worlds, networking. So we'll be back momentarily.
I forget how much I like Savage Worlds. I mean, it's 2 hours. It went by like that. I like that.
Yeah, seems cool. Seems to be quite a lot on this list of combat options and situational rules. I don't know.
I never knew about that 3 Benny limit. I guess I must use the optional rule that I don't care how many bennies I get.
Yeah, there might be. I think it's really good at what it does, and then you can sort of ram up the complexity if you want. There's also sort of subsystems and different ways of making it match or fit the setting you have in mind. So you can
like I'm running
having more heroic characters.
Yeah, I'm running Deadlands, and I mean their favorite combats are the ones where they got to use all their bennies, So.
Well, I turn my mic back on. Not like a demi. Okay. So, let's look up networking once again. But first, let's sneeze. Okay. Wait, I'm the only one who sneezed? Come on, gee. All right.
I took my allergy pill earlier.
Okay.
I was just telling him how much I like. I mean, I'm always reminded how much I like Savage Worlds and how fast it goes, and it's already been 2 hours. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It was fun reacquainting myself with it for getting prepped for this, because it's been I haven't run Savage Worlds. I think. I don't think at all this year.
Since Savage Pathfinder?
It's in Savage Pathfinder, really. Like we ran one session of Savage Pathfinder as a pickup on a Friday night at one point, but not since the gaming marathon 2 years ago. So, yeah, I don't know why. Like I like the game quite a bit. And I've got Savage Rifts on the docket for early next year, because I really want to. That it's bonkers. But I have.
And do you do your own thing? Are you going to do your own thing? You think, or you use one of the? Because I have the stuff, so I'll just refrain from reading it. If you're gonna
no! I'll do my own thing. One of the things I like about the Rift setting.
There's so much to do in Rifts, right?
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, Rifts has my favorite post-apocalyptic travel scavenging mechanics. The stuff out of the I think it's the Tomorrow Legion Player's Guide is fucking awesome. Like I use it with Savage Pathfinder even. It's so good.
Yeah, that's really good. I used it in Deadlands the last time I read it.
Nice. Yeah, so I'd probably use it just in that. Yeah, I want to use Rifts at some point more than just like short one shots we've done so far, and because it's such a bonkers setting, and I really feel like it will challenge me as a DM to be like, okay, so I have my character has a glitter boy, which means I can pretty much shoot down anything. But you're not super. I don't know. It seems like a really, really interesting combination of bonkers, high power, stuff alongside really gritty and thematic or whatever post-apocalyptic stuff. So. But we'll see. Okay, so then this at one point was going to my initial pitch for this. I was like, I'm going to run a Savage. I'll do a backdoor, Rifts thing for this. And then I realized how complicated it makes the characters. And I'm like, this is not at all what Darren asked for. He didn't want to play Savage Rifts. He wanted to just get a taste of the system. So scaled back and ran this instead. Although I still am using some plot elements from Rifts. So. The guys, let's talk about networking. So what networking is it's the set of rules that you use. There are a lot of, they call them adventure kits. It's the adventure toolkit, part of the core rulebook that gives you just like different mini systems you can use to simulate different parts of play. What the networking is for is to gather information. It originally was introduced in the Deadlands Noir game, and then it was incorporated into the main game. And it's just like you using skills to go out and get info. And there's the risk that comes with it is that if you fail, you may get into a scrap. So the two ways of doing it are the nice way and the not so nice way. The nice way uses persuasion. The not so nice way uses intimidation.
Intimidation. Yes.
So what what I'm thinking is this is, cinematically what we would be doing, because you can send transatlantic cables at this point, but you can't really get into same minute conversations with people. The most effective thing would be for you guys to kind of hit the ground, the docks in London, and then hit the streets and start working your contacts, or doing research or whatnot, trying to find out what's going on. So how do you guys, to model the networking part of this, how do you guys see each of your characters as drawing on their skills or contacts as an investigator? And if you want to defer, certain characters may have better skills and better bonuses at this. I know Rachel has the investigator advantage. What are you guys thinking?
What does Reckless do?
Reckless is one of your hindrances, I believe.
Yeah.
If you click on it.
Oh, no, Ruthless.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you don't really suffer people getting in your way. You are a very task-oriented would be a generous way of describing Victor. Unstoppable monster-killing machine might be another way of putting it.
Yeah, I was just wondering what would happen to the people that I was leaning on if they were not obliging.
Yeah. I'll leave it to you to decide. One of the ways to think of that I like, the hindrances in Savage Worlds are extremely flavorful. They're really big personality stuff. And what they're designed for is to drive story forward. They're there so you'll do the fuck up things. Savage Worlds characters are not the mostly flawless characters you see in other games. They are very much flawed, feet of clay heroes. And by leaning into those things, like Rachel being investigative and going in, like Hector being impulsive and jumping into the giant Batmaner, that's the stuff that drives story forward. And that's something that is really fun about Savage Worlds, is that you don't have if you did this in other games, people might accuse you of being an asshole. In this game, it really makes sense because it's what everyone, it's dealing with everyone's peccadillos and the other characters of no, stop, doing that. That's part of the fun of Savage Worlds, is it's great big personalities getting themselves in trouble and then, trying to resolve it with fisticuffs or words.
Yeah.
So, Victor, you want to try and lean on people?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So why don't you give us an intimidate check, please?
Yeah, go down some...
some ne'er-do-wells who are...
Yeah, we hit the East End and... Yeah. Ooh.
You want to spend a penny and re-roll that?
Yeah.
Wow.
So tell me about who it is that you're leaning on. Who do you think you're...
I reckon he's gone down to the docks and been leaning on some sort of...
Like someone who runs a stevedores kind of thing?
People, some people in that maybe don't want the authorities to know that they're working in the country and they're coming through the back door, and he's sort of suggesting that they could go... That could all be exposed.
Are you trying to find...
Want to find out about this stuff that's been coming
where it's coming in and where it's
gone.
gone. Yeah, because the stevedores would be the ones transporting from the ships onto whatever else. So, and what do you... let's call this guy Trevor. So, you finally get through, and you've left a series of fat lips and black eyes across the the docks, and you find Mr. Trevor is he's got a last name, but anyone always refers to him as his first name and Mr. because he's owed the respect. Some also call him the Rat King, but Mr. Trevor, finally, you're sort of finished leaning on a couple of other, unfortunates when you hear a whistle at the end of a dark alley, and you look down and you see there is a man there. He's shorter than you, but that doesn't mean he's a short man. You're a bear of a human being. And he says, I understand you're looking for information.
Yeah, and I've also bought because Rachel was onto this, weren't she? She was into this this shipping stuff.
Yep.
Am I right?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I would have, as I was getting closer to Mr. Trevor, I'd have said to Rachel, you know, I think you might want to come and. I think I've got him.
Okay.
I think I've got my man. I think we're on to something.
So maybe we can see, like, she steps out from behind him, like, completely concealed by this giant, burly, Polish man, and this smaller woman steps out from behind. And I see you brought friends.
I did.
She would raise her eyebrow and look at him, and perhaps he's uttered the name of a street even, and she is now referencing from memory some of the addresses that she was tracking in the shipping back and forth, and she's starting now to remember the street number, and she'll say the street number out loud to him to see his face react to her knowing that, to confirm she knows
his
more.
one eyebrow goes up, and he says, I see you've done your homework.
Are they there now?
I've been moving things around like a shell game. Going to one place, off to another, back again. The last batch, though, it seems they may be in a rush for some reason. Because they had everything delivered direct there. Heavy stuff, too. Stonework, I think. Statues, perhaps. That's what them Latin types like, yes?
Possibly. And what of the lady? Have you seen the lady?
Oh, I ain't seen the Donna, but I've heard about her. We've instructed those. We learned our men stay outside, load in the yard. Those that bring stuff inside ain't likely to make it home for dinner, no?
Well,
You'd probably
maybe
say
you should-
supper. What's your business with Adonna?
We have been following her for some time, and we may have some information that.
Oh, I'm aware of your inquiries, Miss Radcliffe. Me rats have been whispering it to me. What I want to know is why. Why you've been poking your nose in? And why
I'm
you bring this?
I'm gonna loom up a bit more on him.
Yeah.
I don't like the way he's turning this around. And I say, we ask the questions. Not you.
All right. No bother here.
The lady has left. Josefina, right? Danae Josefina, is that it?
That's her. Yeah.
She's left quite a trail of destruction behind her, and no doubt she brings the same intention to this great city. We intend to learn more about her intentions.
Well,
Will you help us find her?
we can't have any trouble with a crown, can we? You got the right spot. Just watch it. She's got many in there. And she's been making her way back and forth to the museum, too. She's got some in with them at the museum. They've been moving stuff, we see, using their own people from there off to the museum. Whatever she's got planned, that's a place, I'd guess.
Which museum?
She looks at you. Only a foreigner, that's that. The British Museum. And he's still locking eyes. Like, you're much bigger than him, but he's still locking eyes. Anything else I can assist with, Miss Radcliffe? I'm always happy to service the crown.
I guess Rachel will look to the rest of the group to see if you have any questions for the gentleman.
Done.
If not,
Nope.
I'll give him some. I'll give him some coin and tell him be off and get your supper then.
Oh, I don't need that, lady. I'll take it in kind later. Ta-da! He puts a little, like, bowler hat on. And he heads off. So, you have an address. It is a modest mansion in a... it is rich in the working class sort of, or merchant class sort. They are rich, but not aristocracy. But it is a mansion still that she has the address to. So we can sort of cut to you guys meeting in the Ripper's setting. There are these things called lodges, and like one of the things that's fun about the actual setting is the lodge becomes a shared resource that develops over the course of the campaign. You add new things onto it and shit like that. I haven't bothered to do any of that because it's not part of core Savage Worlds, but you can picture that you're in this sort of like monster hunting lodge, you know. So where do we see, and as you guys are coming up with plans for what to do next, is there any other networking you guys wish to do before you decide what to do about the Donna Josefina?
Do we need any other information, you guys think?
Well, it might be if she's been moving so many things and has access to the British Museum, she might have helpers on the inside. So it might be good to see if there's someone, someone in Parliament or some aristocrat or someone like backing her. If she has sort of, traitors to the crown that are giving her support. So I think Sir Benedict will try and call. It's good to be back in civilization, so he will go and socialize with various clubs he's a member of and of other aristocrats or fellow occultists. He knows to see if anyone, if the name pops up, or if anyone goes like, "Oh yes, Josefina, we're besties. We've been going back for like hundreds of years," or anything. When we go like, if anyone is like helping her from the inside. How did she get access to the British Museum to just move things with her people?
Yeah. So, and are you thinking the nice way or the not so nice way?
Oh yes, of course, absolutely.
Man,
I'm an old rich gentleman. I don't loom over people. Very frail.
Go ahead and give us a persuasion check, please.
You got people for that.
Yes, exactly.
The raise once again. Nice.
Victor.
So you can picture you're at one of these, one of these crazy clubs. What is it that you're specifically asking about?
And you just see if she's made the name or if she has connections. If she's someone where someone is backing her, or if she has any connections to the established power circles in London.
Yeah. So with a raise, what you will gain, what you hear is that this Donna Josefina, she's known by a couple of different names, I guess, or nicknames maybe. But there is an undersecretary or an underminister in the home. What is it called? The Home Secretary office. What's it called? The Home Secretary's office. Yeah, the Home Office.
The Home Office. Yeah.
Yeah. Who seems to an undersecretary in the Home Office who seems to have very keen relations with this person, and as a result, she's been getting all sorts of. There have been secretive meetings with several aristocrats, both foreign and British, and it's as you say. There is this Professor Adderley who operates out of the British Museum, who has been her liaison. She seems to have some interest in antiquities, foreign antiquities, mind.
You useful. And then I will stay another hour or so and do the conversation to just to not raise suspicion myself and have another brandy.
Absolutely.
How's the family doing? And that stuff.
So not a single. Not a single shadow of suspicion is cast over you, but you've got those names. So we cut back to the group meeting, and maybe you're sharing that information. Anyone else wish to indulge in the networking? Anna really wants to, but...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we can learn anything, any other information. If there's anyone else we want to, like, intimidate, other than what Victor found out. But networking... Yeah, I don't know. Unless, does faith also mean like the clergy? I mean, the Order of St. George. How connected is that? How connected is that? Is it really fringe?
One way to
really
think
fringe?
of it, I think more is think of where you want to go with it first. Like, what do you want out of the networking, and then you can figure out how you.
Right. Oh, weird. So we know that there were strange goings on, like people dying and all that kind of stuff. So maybe try to find out from the Order if there is like an increase in attacks and strange activity.
Absolutely.
Right,
why don't you give us a what do you think? I think it's probably persuasion.
Persuasion. He's not that great. He's very gruff. Brother Ulysses is.
Yeah.
Maybe he's maybe they don't like his. I don't know. They don't like something about him. Yeah, I only got a 4, so let's see.
That's what you got. You got a 4, and and there you go. Got your success. So what you find is, things are always, there's a 1,000 troubles for the big smoke. But if you're specifically asking about the specific types of things that you found, like
bats or blood drinkings, right? I mean,
there has been they've been saying about an East End vampire. There was a vagrant who was found exsanguinated, but with a vicious animal attack. They thought it was something like an escape from a zoo or a carnival of some kind.
Huh.
But
he was exsanguinated. Okay.
Yeah, but that's only one though. And word you get from those working in the poorhouses in those things, like doing not missionary work but charitable work with the unfortunates. There's a lot of people going missing.
Yeah, that's not good. Okay, and it seems like East End orientated.
Definitely the poor. I only reference the East End only because I understand that to be that's the Ripper type area. That is the less fortunate part of London in 1895.
Yeah, it's all Whitechapel on the docks and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's what Brother Stone brings to the table. Hector, anything you wish to, or Rachel, anything you guys specifically want to try and find answers to through networking?
I was interested in the British Museum. Maybe seeing if there's in the evenings or during the night if there was any sort of comings and goings, guys sort of loading heavy sort of crates and stuff in and out. Or
you think so that's probably talking to the working class stiffs at the museum, because it's not the professors who are doing the heavy lifting for that shit.
No, but this is I can see him being quite burly, sort of thuggish type, so he'd go in using his menacing, which is basically just gets
doesn't give you a +2 to your intimidation. Yeah. So give us an intimidation check, please. I think I've got that on your roll already. Let's hear. Did it work? It did not. So that's a 6 is your best roll. You want to Benny that, or you want to take that 6? You got a success already. You just don't have a raise.
No, I'll just take the normal success just to see if they.
So what you find out is, talking to some of these guys, or giving some subtle threats to them. Yeah, there's some folks, and they've also been paid off to not notify, the hires up of what else is going in. There's an entire room that is being set aside in the basement of the museum. Normally is used for storage. It's being set up. It's the strangest thing. They're setting up some kind of display down there, almost like a trial run all these weird, South American things, big blocks, creepy stuff on them too, bats.
And is there any way to get in on the work, basically on the workforce? Who would you have to speak to?
They say no at this point. That you've intimidated them enough to do that. You may try something else. But as of yet, they've that's what they've been able to spill, and that's after you threatening to, threatening to cause some severe bodily harm.
Okay. Do I see they're sort of wearing any sort of, I don't know, ID almost, but obviously not quite.
Probably not at this time. It's probably more like in the matter of like they know who they are. It may not be like as far as infiltrating the museum. That's probably just a skill check, a stealth of some kind, and then a proper disguise may assist you with that.
Yeah. Do they have some sort of uniform or anything?
I mean, it's like a grubby kind of like what do you call it? Like an overcoat, like a brown overcoat.
Overalls, like stuff. Yeah. Okay. And
Ms. Radcliffe.
I think while Hector is sort of scanning the outside and learning what he can, she is going to go inside the museum, and she would like to maybe even make contact with a curator or a preparator, someone who may have more familiarity with the Mayan exhibits that are going on in the British Museum.
Okay.
And show some interest to them to find out what she can learn about the inner workings and what's happening with the Mayan exhibits.
Yeah. What is, remind me again, how does your investigator advantage work?
Let's see.
If you wouldn't mind clicking on, let's see. This is research. I think I'd let you add a +2 to your networking check as well for this. Okay. So why don't you give us a... Sounds like you're trying to do the nice way here. So why don't you give us a persuasion check at +2? You are not super persuasive. Oh, because you're... Okay, cure your wound as well, too. Sorry, your wound will be cured.
Oh, okay.
So that's actually a 4. So that is a success already. You could Benny that and fish for a raise.
She'll just keep the regular success.
Okay. So what you find is you are able to access someone from the who is in the South American Studies wing, or at least a South American specialist. What is it you're specifically looking for?
Just trying to understand the flow of exhibits. Where are the things coming from and going to, and how often are they turning over their exhibit? And then if there's any people that are more expert that she might put me in contact with, or they might put me in contact with.
So with that role, I think what you find is they're happy to talk about the existing collection and what might be coming up in the very near future for it. If you sort of try and push towards Dona Josefina's stuff, they feign ignorance on it. And whether what is your notice score?
8.
An 8? Okay. Let's see. You are feeling pretty confident that it's genuine ignorance. That this person's saying they don't know about, they may not be aware of whatever's going on. And you would be familiar enough with these processes. If there was a full, dry run of a display going up downstairs, this person should know about that.
Would I be able to describe to them the device that we know was found before, to see if they recognize anything like that they've ever seen or heard of?
The difficulty is you guys have not yet seen what that actually looks like. You found there is evidence of it, and you found writings about such things in the historical record and in older pictograms that are found in Mayan architecture. But there's nothing... you don't know quite what it looks like. That's what you're in part hoping to find at the hacienda. So whatever this thing is, you may not even know. But let me ask you this. Do you think that that would be assembled beforehand, or do you think that would be the last thing they would assemble?
Yeah, makes more sense probably to be the last thing. So,
if you were in that position, Ms. Radcliffe, which would you do?
Yeah, probably the last thing. So,
okay. Anything else? Any other networking you guys wish to engage in? So once again, we're back at the Ripper Lodge. Ms. Radcliffe is talking about the frustrations she's had with the ignorance that the those working in the South American wing seem to be displaying of this connection.
I don't know. I guess we're gonna break into the museum. That sounds like the plan.
From the clues we have so far, do we have an inkling of how long it takes to set it all into motion? Like, so what's our? Are we looking at hours or days or weeks off, or do we have no inkling of how long it might take them to finalize it all?
You haven't had access to the to whatever they're building down there. You know that there's been a great deal of things that have been flagged as South American art that have been flown. I know it's shocking to hear. There's a lot of flow from stuff from other parts of the world into London as part of Madame or Donna Josefina's plan here. So it's just been flagged as such. Like, that's one of the things that flagged Rachel's interest. At first, she thought it was simple art thieves, and then sort of realized there was some bigger picture going on here because things were likewise being trafficked to seemingly, inconsequential places in the United States.
We've got two locations, though, haven't we? We've got the museum and then this address that Rachel knows about. Is that right?
Right.
Yep.
And they're moving back and forth between them.
Do you want to hit the warehouse first or the museum? I guess that's the question.
So one of the things that Sir Benedict, just to circle back to stuff we were talking about at the beginning, what did you learn about Donna Josefina? Or what do you know about her thus far?
She is potentially incredibly old, spanning centuries, has a penchant for blood, and possibly avoids the daylight hours at all cost. And it's possibly, I assume, given that she's able to build this sort of device or enact as a ritual, quite a powerful spellcaster in her own right. So very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that, whatever plans she had in Guatemala, do you think what do you think happens if she finds her plans partially spoiled? Like, I guess the concern, and this is something that Victor would be well aware of, like the old worlders are certainly aware, like one of the reasons you need to dig these things up from the root is because they will wait. Evil is patient and eternal, and they will just wait. They cast their plans in this, in the scheme of decades and centuries, not weeks and months, the way that mortals do. So what Victor might be warning against is if she retreats. If she retreats and digs down, if this most crucial part that Ms. Radcliffe has identified, she keeps that, it may very well be that she needs the full apparatus in order to make this work, or it may be that there is one really crucial component that is irreplaceable. So
with that said, does it seem that poking around and wrecking something at the British Museum is likely to just send her into hiding? Do we think?
Yeah, I think we'll only get one chance at stopping her. And if we don't stop her but just interrupt the ritual, she'll come back in 5 years, 10 years.
So she's probably setting it up at the museum, but we're most likely to find her and her hoppos at the other location. I'm guessing.
I agree.
Yeah.
One advantage you have is she may not be aware that you're hunting her. You guys have not screwed up at any point, apart from you being in, you investigating her in the New World. You haven't, since coming to London, you've, from what I can tell from your roles, you haven't made anyone else aware that you are, that you're actually looking into her. So you may have that advantage on your side, for sure.
Do we want to stake out a house just for a day or two and see? Not as a group, obviously, but Victor, you mentioned you're actually quite stealthy when needed.
Yeah, I am relatively stealthy, yeah. But I may be a bit conspicuous as well. To say the least. I think I'm probably a little bit more stealthy in a different context, maybe more like the outdoors. Maybe we need somebody a little bit more subtle. I'm happy to do it, but
anyone else excel in stealth?
I got a 6.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, I got an 8.
Yeah, if you want some backup or.
One of the upsides to this is London, so yeah, you definitely sitting in Albert Hall, you may stand out, but there's lots of different folks from all over the place in Victorian London, so.
Yeah, maybe I'll just get a fruit and veg bar and wheel it up there and stand by that or something.
No one will think think twice. Plus, when you want to be like in the shadows or clambering across rooftops or whatnot, you are a D8 is a pretty good score.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think staking it out and just having a better look, and rather than piling in there, I'm happy to stake it out. And like you say, she's probably not in a massive rush. It doesn't sound like it's, super imminent. They're well on with it by the sounds of things, but I think we can spare a day or so.
See what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. We want to.
Okay.
There's more secrecy around this location than the basement of the museum, so I'm far more interested in this.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Victor, allow me to show you what you are spying on. I think this is the place. Yeah. So this is not off the street necessarily, but the place is quite big, and I'm thinking it's this place down here. It just takes up a lot of space. And there's two things you find is that there are very few lights on, day or night. The curtains are always drawn, and there's almost no one going in and out of there apart from a single black carriage that seems to ride out.
Is the black carriage blacked out with curtains and everything else?
Yep.
Is this a kind of transportation for the old vampires that I might be familiar with?
is definitely exactly the type of things that those the get of the Count enjoy. Their kind seems to walk more among the living, though. This place seems completely shut in.
I better try and get a closer look.
Okay.
So I think looking at this street there, I want to get around the back, maybe see if there's a little alleyway
Okay.
round to the back, round the like maybe some kind of yard or.
Sure. Why don't you give us a stealth check, and we'll see how that goes. Also, everyone can get a. Well, everyone's almost at max, but everyone who doesn't have at max get a Benny.
That would definitely be me.
Okay.
Burning through the bennies.
Yep.
Oh, that didn't. My thing didn't roll, did it?
Didn't roll yet. No.
Oof.
There we go. Ooh, you want to Benny that?
Yeah.
Okay. Go click on re-roll. Oh yeah, those are two terrible rolls. Oh my god.
Whoa, you're joking.
Was that your re-roll, or did it roll twice?
Well, I thought that was my re-roll, but it's. Oh no! There you go.
Well, that was me. That was me hitting it. Why don't you hit re-roll one more time? I think a first one may have been.
Do I hit you?
Mine or the other. I think either will work. I think. Okay.
That's bad.
So, tell us what you're trying to do here as you sneak around the back. There probably is a little yard, but it's all fenced in. You know, high fences to keep it secret for the for whoever lives in there. It's probably the way that the carriages come in and out as well. Looking in closer.
I reckon I've got a big old cloak on, and I've just probably got like a hood up and.
Yep. Daytime, nighttime?
I reckon early hours of the morning, whilst it's quiet and there's not too many people about. Mind you, London at the time was getting busy all the time.
Yep. There's always bakers, there's always shift workers, there's always...
loads of people come in from the countryside with their wares at ungodly hours of the morning. I was reading about it. And stopping off at little coffee tent things, but I'll just try and slip in there when there's not a load of folk about. I'm looking for a sort of a bit of a shoddy back door, or maybe somewhere someone's not secured the window too well.
So if you're checking, it does seem as if on the back side of this too, all the curtains are drawn. Does appear there is an attic for space in the pitch of the roof. There seems to be likely a sizable attic in here too, used often for storage in these times. There's no sign of life in there whatsoever. And if you check the back, there is a I can picture you pulling yourself up on the fence, and while there is a what do you call it? Here's something curious. The Count's brood? A hellhound is very often something they use to keep themselves safe. They have servants often they use too, but corrupted dogs are often, or other kinds of animals, to keep watch. No such thing in here. There is a back door, it's not like hanging on hinges. It's a nice place, so there is a door, but it is more of a servant's door. So you could, in theory, get in there.
What does it look like for scaling up getting up the back to like up to the attic there? Maybe like a little pop-out window up on the top there.
Do you think that Victor would have any gear with him to help with that? I'm not like it wouldn't be the character. I'm leaving. I'll trust you to figure out what he'd be carrying with him. No, okay.
I don't think he's a man for being burdened down with that sort of thing. He'd probably cast his eye around and find what he needs.
So I think it'd be athletics at -2. So you basically just need to roll a 6 or higher to scale the side with athletics.
All right. Oof.
You gonna Benny that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, aren't I, really?
Can't.
Did I move down? I don't think I moved down my Benny from before. Hold on, let me see. I think I'm on 1. So, yeah, so I re-roll that. Oof.
So it's not a fall. I think you get close to falling. Like, things start giving way at one point as you're trying to scramble up this thing, and you realize, like, fuck, this isn't going to work.
Yeah, it's probably trying to go up the down pipe, and it's pulling away from the thing. And yeah, need to get a bit of weight off before I try that again.
Well, and then you hear maybe there's some kids also running, getting to ready to go to school, so you have to sort of shimmy down, keep yourself hidden.
Yeah. I think I'll perhaps go back and I'll report to the others and say that there's a door I could probably get in, but I feel I just got a bad feeling about this. I imagine he's a little bit superstitious and
almost
taking
definitely
that as a bit of a bad omen.
As he's walking away too, I think in the film version we would see from pitch blackness a hand go up and move a curtain aside and move it back. So as you return, Victor, what do you... everyone is sort of, breaking fast in the morning. Victor comes in after another night of surveillance. What do you share?
This... it doesn't look good. It's definitely the vampires. They're closed in. I think I may have been observed. I tried to scale the building, but... No joy. There is a weak back door. I feel I could break it, but I fear what lurks in there could be, well, let's not dwell on that.
And he makes a symbol of the cross once again.
I feel it is a bad day.
Covered carriages, what happens with them when they arrive at the building?
I didn't see. I've seen them come and go, but I didn't get close enough when they were board. Well, the occupant may have been boarding.
There is like a stable attached to the building, and it's through that yard that he was in that someone stops. The driver gets out, opens the gate to the yard, brings the carriage inside, closes it behind, and then they bring the carriage and horses underneath. Whether people are coming and going, there's probably an entrance down underneath there as well. One more likely to lead to the residence as opposed to the servants' quarters.
Yeah, I feel that's the lady.
Was the coach used during the day?
Not that you've seen yet. Seems only to be used at night.
Would I associate that with her going out feeding and bumping off the unfortunates of the town?
Definitely what the Count's brood does. That's their modus operandi. So
if you don't feel, Victor, you don't seem like you feel confident about gaining entry through the doorway. Is there another way?
I could certainly get through the door, but it would be messy. And he sort of I just hold up my big axe. There's not much going to stop this. And he just, however, it will be loud, be messy.
Why don't we just follow the carriage? Why don't we just take her out when she's out feeding? Why don't we lay ambush?
Like at night? Is that? Oh, she thinks she goes at night? Is that? Oh, I guess I could have asked. I could ask the. Is a carriage spotted when these at night in the poor parts of town? Is it? Or are they pretty discreet about it?
You want to try ask around about that?
Yeah.
Sure. It's a persuasion check, please.
Okay.
It's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there isn't a direct connection, but there are definitely, I mean, there are always, you know, the toffee-nosed sort that want to go out into and slum in those areas.
Yeah.
So, and they definitely call, they don't so much call attention to themselves because, like, they're trying to not call attention to themselves, but they are noticed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obvious efforts by the elite to be discreet in those neighborhoods still doesn't shake off that they're, you know, driving these very expensive carriages driven by servants. So certainly it's possible. The trouble is the carriage that she's driving, like, it's the unmarked sedan of the 19th century, effectively. Like, it's so nondescript so as to be indistinguishable from most others. Mm-hmm. Unless you guys knew to mark it or knew to follow that specific one.
I like the idea of, like, following the carriage then. Just got to find out which one it is, and I don't know how we mark it, but
Can't we just have our own carriage, follow it when it leaves this building?
Yeah, we could do something simple to, like, maybe throw a little chalk out on it or something like that that would be noticeable later.
I mean, I could try and infiltrate the coach house and get myself under the coach, like what's his face in Cape Fear there, where he's hanging underneath the
Robert De Niro?
Yeah, that's it.
Or Robert Mitchum, I guess, depending on which one.
Yeah, I only know the newer one. And I guess if it... I was going to say, no, I could... Failing that, if I got into the coach house, I could mark it. If the other idea seemed a bit too bold, I could just get in there and tag it in some way. Scratch Victor was here on it in Polish.
So what are you guys thinking? What's the next thing you're doing?
I think we need to hit. We need to maybe hit this coach. But are we tough enough? Like, can we take this?
You said it was gonna be sloppy. We might as well limit the numbers.
yeah.
What about
Can any
if we,
of us drive? No, is anyone a driver? Wait.
what if we sabotage the coach? What if we sabotage the coach so, like, it gets a bit down the road and then the axle breaks or something? If we could, like, saw through it or weaken it so that it won't get very far, and then when it breaks, that's our cue to kind of pile in.
Mm-hmm. So you could try that. The only issue is, let's see, I'm trying to remember. Here we go. That is likely a repair check. Anyone got training in repair? And this is only
It's like
obviously anyone can break a wheel. This is to break it enough so that it's going to break on the way as opposed to break immediately. Who has repair? Nobody?
No.
I don't.
Nah.
Guess need to send a friend request to Nikola Tesla. I guess wrong period, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm not that subtle.
Well, it's a two-step process. I say let's see where it goes. If it goes somewhere at night, maybe it doesn't. But it's a two-step process, right? You have to sneak in and then sabotage it, as opposed to just following it. And can you ride? You don't have to just take carriages. You can actually ride horses, right?
Yeah, anyone can ride horses. The skill ride only really comes into play when there's trick things that you need to do.
Or if we chase the
and also with almost every skill, you can still, even if you're not trained in it, you can always attempt things. It's just you get -2 to it, and you only roll a D4 and your wild die. So you're probably shit at it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking? That's why some of you guys have D4s in skills, because it's better than not being trained. It's not great, but it's a base level of competency. So what is the plan then? Do you assault the wagon with the hope that it's there? Do you follow the wagon? Sir Benedict is what what you might call unethically rich. So he certainly has access to huge amounts of money to finance whatever scheme. Yeah.
Well, we should figure out if there's like a pattern to where it goes and follow.
Yeah.
That's what I suggest.
Okay.
I think it's better to isolate, if we can isolate this person. I mean, it might scare them, but I don't know. It's a risk we take, right?
Yeah.
We have to assume that she's not easily scared.
Well, go into hiding. You're right, not scared, but
We don't want to give ourselves away.
So how many nights worth of, just to plan here, how many nights are you thinking about? Like, are you planning on just doing it once, or you want to get a series of nights where each of you are going to be following at different times and seeing where it goes? See if there's any routine or pattern. Victor did see it go out every night, say 2 or 3 nights that he was watching. So it definitely does go out every night. It's just a question as to where it goes.
When it went out, was there somebody driving it? Like there was definitely, there weren't nothing weird about it. Like no driver, that would have been too freaky.
It is no, definitely not. It's a fella who looks a little like this.
All right.
Not quite as big as you, Victor, but pretty big lad anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks like we'll have him to contend with as well then.
I was going to say, you've got to follow it for at least 2 or 3 nights.
Yeah.
Are we overcomplicating things? We assume she's a vampire. Then hitting it at lunchtime and smashing in all of the windows and letting in as much sunlight as possible, instead of trying to follow a dark, shadowy carriage every night.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Break in during the day.
Yeah, because if we follow the carriage at night, we're doing her a favour, aren't we?
How do we
The
kill
streets will
such
not
a
be that
creature?
busy. Yeah, so following the carriage might be difficult. That might get us noticed. If Victor has been watching the house for a few days, would Rachel and Sir Benedict have been able to maybe do some research into finding out more about Donna Josefina or this master she's trying to put through?
Sure. Why don't you give us... who wants to take the lead on the occult check? Or research, actually. I think research that's probably more what you're trying to do, is access all these secret libraries of mystic lore around the city. Who wants to take the lead? Who wants to assist?
I'll be assisting Rachel. I think she has the.
I'm just a 6 in research. It's not great. I'm better at a call.
Investigator bonus, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh yeah, right. You get the investigator bonus too. So.
Yeah. Right,
so then, Sir Benedict, why don't you give us a research check, please? Nice, a raise. So plus
Nice.
2, so you got plus 4 to your roll here, Rachel.
Right.
Holy smokes!
14.
So, surprisingly, your research takes a bit of you are at first looking into a lot of South American resources, and a study. It's a chance conversation with a colleague who happens to study Mesopotamian myths or mystics at least, and what they talk of is that there's an unusual myth about hungry spirits. And that is that the marshal needs to sneeze first. Carl, do you have any of that allergy medication left?
Yeah, sorry. Took that exit too.
What it finds, or what it suggests, is that his theory is that there was no Great Flood. The Great Flood is a metaphor for a world-ending event. And what it was is that these hungry spirits, which they, would see as kind of a predecessor to the Arabic ghoul myth, that those things were simply things to shepherd the way for greater and grander things. That the more of these hungry spirits that appear, the more that contagion spreads, the more that it makes it possible for unfathomably powerful spirits of hunger to be able to come through. And what this myth is, or the theory of the great, is that a antediluvian civilization destroyed itself and much of the rest of the world so as to send one of these creatures of hunger back. But if it had not occurred, then it's an entire world for it to feed on, wait, and then pass to another, feeding as it goes. The myth and the profession of the, think of it now as a vampire hunter, but one who slays hungry spirits. There's a reason that has been around for that long, not just for the preservation of the pack, but to prevent a mythic catastrophe from happening again. He points out as well that otherwise it would be a suicidal drive in vampires or in other similar hungry spirits, those that spread by infection. Because if they continually add more, then they're racing towards their own extinction. The more they feed, the more they transform others into their kind, the more that the more mouths they have to feed, and the smaller that pool comes. It makes more sense that there is a grander and darker purpose for it. Isn't there? And even there needs to be a driving engine for it. And that's where the idea of masters, one who can set above and command the others, like the Count, a more modern contemporary version. One who has mastery over the others, but serves a secret and darker master who would herald the end of all. But these are but theories, Miss Radcliffe. do you guys make of that information?
Sir Benedict will steady himself with a brandy at the earliest opportunity. The scope of this seems to be getting worse and worse. Well, Rachel, we seem to be in quite a pickle here. Should definitely try and stop this.
Definitely.
How?
That's the question.
Yep.
What is said is that there is no, in other hierarchies, at least among the hungry spirits, other hierarchies, when one leader is displaced, they take over, but it is less like that. Another reason why to think that there is a grander scheme here for these hungry spirits, more like insects, that without their head, the hive is lost. And Victor, this makes sense to you. Your understanding of vampires is a similar thing. There are masters and there are servants. And the servants, they never become masters.
Yeah, we need to take her out.
So I guess the question is if we break into the house or, assault the carriage.
I'm now thinking that assaulting the carriage at night is potentially playing into their hands a little bit. Maybe this idea of, I think it was Sir Benedict suggested breaking open the windows and getting some light in there. If we knew perhaps where she rested, one thinks about the basement, but maybe the attic, like a bat in the attic.
But is she the master? Or is she going somewhere else? I thought that servant back in wherever
He was
they
saying
were.
she's trying to bring the master through. So I presume that she's the head of the operation on this
Yeah.
side.
I think she's the head of the operation in this, yeah.
We don't know yet who she serves.
Well, this bat god,
As long as killing her doesn't stop the trail, and we never find out. As long as she is the one we need.
I think we should continue to observe the wagon to see if we notice any pattern at all with its destination each night.
Sure. So if you want to follow, why don't you give us whoever wishes to follow for the first time, give us a stealth check. Rachel says no.
yeah, I'm decent at stealth. I got a 6. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a 6. Can we pair up so we can sort of
Assist?
yeah
Yeah,
assist
yeah.
each
You're
other?
trading off. It's kind of like tailing, Yeah. So who would like to assist and who would like to be the lead?
Well, I thought Victor was pretty good at stealth.
Yeah.
So I can assist.
Okay. So
Yeah.
why don't Brother Stone and Hector? Why don't you each give us stealth check? These will be to assist.
Okay. Oh,
Holy smokes! So +3
plus
total.
4. Yeah.
And Victor, give us a stealth check with +3 the result. That's 7. Okay.
So close.
Let's see here. So it seems like the Hellhounds are back. Uber. Okay, so what you guys find with trading off and whatnot, This guy seems to be making his way around through the East End. And he's finding people to pick up. Some are, streetwalkers. Some are people who are too inebriated or whatnot to get anywhere, passing himself off as a cab. What you do know is that one by one, there's one or two who go in to the carriage, and then the carriage returns back to this. It's almost like a moving shuttle. Goes in, collects people, brings them back. Collects people, brings them back.
Oh, so it's not...
2 days, 3 days of this, and you see the exact same thing.
So that plan wouldn't have worked anyway, because the person we want's not in the carriage.
I don't know if Brother Ulysses would want to wait 2 days, or more than 2 days, after seeing the pattern. Actually, it's like...
So maybe we can, rather than skipping to the dawn of the second day, we can picture that Brother Ulysses, is in the shadows, that one good eye of his just glaring, and the gray light of dawn comes, overcast skies in London, and there's no sign of whoever was brought inside. So what do you guys think?
Well, then another option might be, if we assume that this is sort of a meal delivery or meal pickup service that this guy is running, do ambush the carriage.
Victorian DoorDash.
and we go back in the carriage as a way of gaining entrance to the house and maybe taking them by surprise. But then it'll be the middle of the night, which, if we're dealing with vampires, is obviously their home turf. So, but that could be another option then, if we also
I'm feeling
use the
pretty
carriage
good
as
that you guys
a
can
delivery service.
Cover that. I mean, being trapped in a closed area with these things, I think you're fine.
We need any sort of special weapons to kill a vampire? Monster hunter, no such.
Yeah, you need not roll. Stake through the heart with the call shot. For the classic vampires, cut off the head. Silver is sometimes said to be effective. Daylight, fire.
Would Sir Benedict be able to resource some silver bullets? Maybe.
Oh, yeah, easy. Assuming our hunter's lodge, we probably have some of the basic equipment.
Yep. And Victor would be well stocked with these things, given his the old worlders. They know about these things.
Yeah, while she was talking about it, you hear like Victor's footsteps, he goes up the stairs, and then you can hear a heavy sort of sound of a box being dragged across the floor. And then you hear as he comes back down the stairs, and the door bursts open, and he just drops a big chest down. We'll be needing this.
Cast it over. There's garlic.
He flicks up the lid, and it's all laid out in there. And
26 varieties of rosaries. So, is that the plan then?
Yeah.
So just hit the house during daylight.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Might have to deal with things in the house, but
yeah.
Okay. So tell me about how you're going to approach the manor in the daytime.
Well, I've scoped out the back, so I'm going to suggest that we go around the back way. Maybe the classic, we get a wagon with a tarpaulin over it. Everybody gets in the back. Make it just look like a regular kind of vehicle plying its trade along that way, and so we can get a little bit closer, and then we just kind of slip out from underneath the tarpaulin and down the alley and over the fence or through the fence or whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Are there any adjoining buildings that could be used as escape routes or anything? Because we don't want to
Like on
get
the
away.
roof, you mean, or?
Well, is there adjoining buildings that they may have purposed for?
Probably. Oh, you mean for them to get away? Oh,
Yeah.
No, I don't think for the mansions. These things would be for taking up the entire block.
Completely detached. Okay. Yeah.
While there are some impressive new innovations in Victorian technology, noise dampening walls is not one of them yet. And you do not want to be trying to sleep next to a attic full of vampire creatures. So, Sir Benedict can certainly afford all this stuff. Is there any extra gear that anyone needs to pick up before they go in? We assume you got your silver bullets there, Hector.
Brother Stone can get us some holy water.
I think so, most certainly. Yeah. He has contacts with the Anglican Church, and will probably be able to get access to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone have anything else?
Well, I got my standard vampire hunting stuff. I'm guessing stakes and all that, like in the chest and.
Yep.
And
Let me see.
I don't know how effective that is against this bat variety, but
we've got your Rambo 3 strapping up montage.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Are you guys ready to roll in? So who will
See
be?
what happens.
Oh, sir, go ahead, Carl. I'm interrupting you.
Oh no, I said, let's see what happens. Let's go.
Okay. So you guys go rolling in. Let me get rid of old mugshot here. So who is it who is driving the wagon, or one or two, and who is in the tarpaulin?
Maybe I should go under the tarpaulin because there was that little bit of curtain twitching, and if I'd been seen, that might give the game away a little bit.
Yeah, maybe Brother Ulysses, because he's kind of old looking. He could kind of put a cloak on and be like just a typical driver and not cause too much stir.
Yeah, I mean, both of you would easily pass for laborers, most certainly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Rachel would be better off inside. Yep.
Okay.
Same for Sir Benedict.
Someone's going to have to help him up into the...
Yeah. Thank you.
He suffers a minus... I think it's a -1 to all of his physical attribute checks. He's
The
old.
choice of being elderly.
Yep. And Hector?
Yeah, he'd probably have to go into hiding because he's renowned all over the world, obviously, for being a
Just
warrior's
ask him.
kid.
All right. So you guys go rolling in. You roll up to the thing. You do as you've seen. You pull back the gate. Does have a lock on it, Victor, but you are certainly strong enough to break it. I don't know. Do you have any points in thievery? Any dice in thievery?
No, but I've got a big axe.
Okay. If you're not shang, breaks, and you're able to cast it open. You roll in, and you now have access to the house. You roll underneath. You can see there are the horses in there. There's the carriage in there. There's no sign of the thug who was, or the coachman, I guess, who was driving this. There's no sign or any indication inside of anyone moving either. Once you get underneath, what do you guys do?
I think we want to head upwards. I'm feeling bats will be found in the attic. That's the way bats do things. And this is, they seem the more bat-like variety, and there's a bat theme going on. So,
Well, as we travel, let's open curtains, smash windows.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So is this the conversation that's being had as you guys are piling out of the wagon?
I reckon we've sorted that out before this because when Sir Benedict brought it up,
Yeah, so
the
maybe like
whole
as you're
light,
rolling underneath, we
daylight.
flash back to the lodge and you're talking about it there. Okay. And then... okay, so make sure I didn't lose Jamie. I lost Jamie's camera and I lost Carl's camera. Let me reconnect on my side here. Let's see. Let's see if we can get you guys back for the finale here. Boom. I have everybody back. Look at that. Easy peasy. Okay, so then, as you guys pile out, there is the one door that leads into the house. Who is going to be the first one through there?
Do you want me to lead the way with that? Break the axe and pile through the door, Hector, or do you want me to smack the door and you run in, or
You smack the door.
or anyone else?
I'll go in, all guns blazing if necessary.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got the door.
Yeah, I'll do the door and then.
Okay. So you break the door. You step through. You're about 5 or 6 steps in when you hear, "What are you doing here?" And this guy is running directly at you. So let's do some initiative here. Hector. Go. Brother Stone. Yep. I'm trying to figure out where I need to place things so that this place is right underneath your... I'm getting closer. Victor. Rochelle. Ugh. That ain't good. And Joe Thug. I'll spend another Benny to get a new one from me. Payback's a bitch, Madison. Anyone want to spend Bennies to get a new card? Going.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So, Sir Benedict, you are up first, but you're at least third in right now. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking if he hits me, I'll probably just fall down and break. So I'll happily just sort of step to the side into the room and start
Okay.
looking around if there are
You can delay.
windows
You can
with
just-
curtains
Yeah, if
that
you
can
wanna-
be opened.
When here, you're still like making their way through. There's only 2 guys who've gone through so far. The noise alerted this guy, it seems, or you're still just barely into the first sort of room of the house while this guy comes out. Victor and Hector are the first 2 in, from it sounds.
In that case, I will delay
Okay.
and
So
see.
that means Victor, what are you doing?
I'll smack him with the axe.
Okay. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Apply axe to head. Let's see. 6 is good enough. Not a raise, but go ahead and roll damage.
Dang.
What does it look like as you dispatch this foe?
I think that
dang.
might just take his head clean off. I think he steps up and I don't know. He's just timed it badly
Yep.
as I've come through the door and on the
There's
on
a
the
strange
next one.
Polish curse that he lets out, Hector, that you haven't heard before. Redfield. So with that, all of you kind of come clattering in. Victor, this headless corpse still spurting out some blood. Victor just says, like, "I'll do this floor, you go up." So we're out of initiative. Then
Wow.
what you guys find is this place does seem to be occupied. It's 3 stories, and then there is the including the main floor, and then there's the attic. First floor, no sign of anyone. Windows are being opened up. Are you breaking the windows? I think anyone who's a London resident will know that a bunch of broken windows in a mansion may draw the attention of the bobbies.
Well, I would say we just
Rip the
open them.
curtains.
We don't. Yeah. Do the curtains.
Yeah, rip the
Open them, right?
The entire first floor, windows are open everywhere. And you're seeing much of the same, on this floor at least. This is just could be indistinguishable from any other rich person's mansion. In fact, Sir Bennett, you're beginning to think, have I been in here before?
All right. Reginald?
Second floor?
Okay.
Same thing. And then And likewise on this floor, there are. What you're finding in here is in one or two of the rooms, particularly there is a room that looks like it's a study of some kind. There are some very disturbing Mesoamerican bat-featured things in here. If you had any question as to whether this was the right place, you are definitely can feel assured you got the right mansion now. And whoever the first of you that described sees it likely just knocks it off the thing. It shatters on the ground. But there is no sign of anyone else in here. Next floor up.
This is like, are there 3 floors and then the attic, or how?
Three floors in the attic. So you get to the third, and you're all. I'm going to assume you're in the same sort of order you were coming in. So Victor, then Hector. Who's the next person?
So
Rachel would be towards the front, so middle, I guess, in this case.
So Rachel,
I guess,
and then is it then
the
Sir
two old
Benedict?
guys, the 2 old guys bringing up here, Stone and Benedict. Right?
All right.
Yeah.
And it's when you get you're turning around up this main central staircase, ready to head up to the next one, when you find that there is someone standing at the top. The only difference in the illustration, or from the illustration, is that it is not a raven that rests on her shoulder. It is a bat. And it's a big fucking, like a big fruit bat kind of, thing. But it has the face of like a vampire bat. And she looks down at you all, those cold blue eyes studying you. Why are you here? Who are you? She doesn't seem afraid. She seems curious. And while I'm not going to do it, she has a very thick Spanish accent. And like aristocratic Spanish accent. Spain accent. Feels out of time, almost.
We're here to stop your evil deeds.
What evil do you mean? And she gestures with her, sort of puts her hands up like, what do you mean? And you start hearing from the ceiling, there must be dozens, if not hundreds of these things. It's just like fucking horses crashing around on the ceiling above. And she gets a snarl and a smile on her face, and you can see all her teeth are sharp. And how do you propose to do that, old man?
I throw a firebolt in her face.
Go ahead. Nice success.
Oh, raised.
And
Oh, that's
you want to Benny that? You could reroll damage with a Benny.
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Does that give you extra damage?
14. Nice. So you toss this up. It hits her. She looks back. And that's more like it. And there is a flicker. And you realize that your eyes have been playing tricks on you. Because what actually stands before you... Let me do the proper reveal here for you guys. Is this.
Oof. Yeah, I think I preferred the lady.
Let's roll some initiative here. So, go Hector. An 8. Brother Stone. A 9. Sir Benedict. King. There we go. Victor. An ace. Miss Radcliffe. A 5. And 10 for Batty McBatterson. So, I am I'm already losing to y'all, so I might as well spend one of my last bennies. 3. Anyone else want to spend a benny? I'm currently losing to all of you.
I think you take the higher. I don't think you. If you spend a benny, I don't think you.
Oh, is it? You take the
lose.
better?
In Suede, I don't think you take the best.
Yeah, let's say that's the case. I can look it up afterwards. But so I'm on a 10. Ms. Radcliffe?
I will stay with where I'm at.
Okay, anyone else want to spend a benny to get a new card? Going. We haven't had a Joker yet this game. The deck's still fresh.
That's crazy.
What is the deck refreshes on a Joker?
The Joker gives you, I believe, it's a bonus of like +2.
Plus 2 on all your action, and you can go whenever you want.
And damage, I think, as well.
Oh, and damage, yes. And
you go wherever you want, and then you refresh the, you reshuffle the deck. And there are certain advantages you can take that give you certain bonuses when Jokers come up. I didn't do that with any of you guys because it was too, risk reliant. All right, so then first up is Victor. What are you doing, Victor?
Just wading in a frenzy into this creature with my axe, and hopefully I can repeat the last performance.
Okay, now Victor, let me see here. Your ability, let's see here. Big mouth hindrances. Oh, there's your edges. Champion. So here's Champion. When you're facing the forces of supernatural evil, it's +2 to damage.
All right.
You also have Frenzy, just like, or I think that Brother Stone actually might have improved Frenzy. Or maybe you got the improved Frenzy.
I just have the.
Oh, first strike, is it?
First strike, yeah.
Oh, okay. So what this means, you get to roll 2 fighting dice with any of your attacks, and you can allocate it to her or to someone else, and it can act as a second hit.
Right.
And then your last one, Nerves of Steel, you already know. Okay, so Victor, why don't you give us, if you're waiting in, make 2 attack rolls with the your axe. We'll just take the wild dice from the first attack.
Okay.
That'll count as 2d12 plus 1d6. Okay, and her parry is... Ooh.
And another one.
Parry is an 8. There you go. Oh, it's the fucking wild dice.
Yeah, I know.
But you have... Is it +2 to damage or +2 to hit? Damage. For champion. Now, do you want to spend a Benny and re-roll? You get to re-roll all of them.
Well, I got 1 Benny. Might as well.
Okay.
Jeez, you know.
So go ahead and hit re-roll on your axe twice. There you go. You got a hit, and then re-roll. Let's see again, because you never know what's going to happen that first dice. Okay, so that is an 11. That is a hit. Not quite a raise, but you race in, whack, and bury this thing in. Go ahead and roll damage, and it'll be +2 to this. Nice. 11. That's 11. What AP 2 is enough. So because of the AP, what happens? Some things have armor. Yep. AP reduces the toughness bonus from the armor up to that. It only functions against armor. Their toughness is a 13, but 4 of that is armor. So that is enough to get through. You have shaken her. They are not happy. I think I need to make her a little smaller here. Because, there we go.
No, that's me. My Benny's gone.
Okay. So that is, she is shaken. Then, or Kamisats is shaken. Next up is going to be Sir Benedict. What are you doing, Sir Benedict?
Sir Benedict will take a step back after his initial volley and will start chanting again. And this time around, the protective glyphs will appear around myself and all of my companions.
Oh, nice. Okay. So let's see. Oh! You need a Benny that?
Re-roll that, yeah.
Nice! Outstanding.
So I spent the extra points to affect all of the targets and to do more armor, so that would give +6 armor to everyone.
Incredible. Oh, you spent for the extra armor too. That's amazing. So everyone's got +6 to their damage or to their toughness, thanks to Sir Benedict.
So I've got plus
magic.
9 in total. Plus 9 in total, yeah.
+6 in total.
With my scale mail shirt, you.
Oh, it's stacked with that as well. Yeah.
Oh, it does stack with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
Wow.
it would stack with it because it's separate. Okay, so that's amazing. Brother Stone, you're up next. What are you doing? Oh no, hold on. Actually, it's
It's
Camazotz.
not. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay, so Camazotz is going to deal with Victor here. So first, gonna bring back. Eesh. What's your parry again?
7.
7, okay. So she brings that big claw back. Oh, friends, I get to make one more attack roll. All right. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I might have fucked something up here. Did you hit... parry?
I know you shook the creature, but it might not be. It might be immune to.
So one thing I screwed up,
shaken.
what I was looking for is to see if you would hit with any 2 of your dice, because you can hit twice with your frenzy ability. So only one of those was good enough to actually hit the Camazotz, so you didn't. But if that 7 had been 1 greater, you would have hit 2 times, and you would have been rolling damage twice. That's how your thing works. Your frenzy works. Okay, so let's see here. I only hit once, and it's not with a raise. So it is strength. Oh my goodness. What is your toughness?
Well, with the protective glyphs and the mail shirt is a 9.
9. Good stuff. Oh no, hold on. Is that? Because the mail shirt will give you. It's a bonus, but it's higher than. You see here, Victor, because your base toughness is like 3 plus your. So you got 9 plus the 6 from
right.
Sir Benedict, so it's 15.
15. Oh my God.
Right.
That's great. Okay, so here
That
we
was
go.
an awesome spell.
Yeah.
That's so it's at 6, 14. I only shook you, Victor. After all of that, this massive claw hammers up against you, so you are currently shaken.
Okay. What does that do? What is the effect of being shaken?
Being shaken means you can't take actions, and on your turn, what you have to do is make a spirit check. On a success, you recover and you're able to act. Otherwise, you're just stunned and reeling and trying to recover. You can spend a what do you call it? A Benny to automatically recover, but you need to have one in order to do that.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, then it is. I erased your card already, but Brother Stone, you're up next.
Yes.
What are you thinking here?
I think I'm going to cast. I'm going to do 2 actions.
Okay.
It's a desperate situation. I saw big old Victor get shaken with like the pinky finger of this creature. So,
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to cast a spell. Spend the extra points. It says I can spend. It says I can spend the extra points to target more than one. Is that right? To target another weapon from.
Oh yeah. You mean smite?
Yeah, for smite.
Yeah, you just affect more than one ally.
More than one target, so I can put on another weapon.
Correct.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to try to put on Victor's big axe.
Nice.
It works, but it's just at a minus. It's at a -2 because I'm going to try to cast and then attack. But
Okay, that sounds good. So -2 to your.
I got bennies. I got bennies.
Yeah, -2 to your faith roll here. Come on.
Yeah, so, is there a way to put a modifier?
For God and St. George.
Yeah.
I don't think so in this one. Do you want to Benny that?
Yes, I'm going to Benny that.
Okay.
Yes.
There you
With
go.
a -2 to 4. Okay, so
After you hit Victor, somehow your sword is now or your axe is glowing with the same holy fire that Brother Stone's sword does, and then you see him charge in next to you.
yeah. And I will attack. This is also at a -2.
Go ahead. Here we go. Come on, exploding dice.
Oh, by one.
So close. However, because you both went in, there's a gang up bonus.
I get the gang up bonus.
You do, which is a +1, and that's just enough to hit Kamazot's. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. I roll damage.
And we'll add the extra dice in. 18! Holy smokes.
Nice.
Okay.
Plus a D6. So yeah, 18, you're right.
That is 2. I need to spend a Benny, one of her personal bennies, to try and soak this, because she took 2 wounds from you. And once you take 4 wounds, you die, incidentally, guys. So this is, let's see here, Vigor, there we go.
Would the smite not add extra damage as well?
Yeah, he did.
That's where we took the bonus damage?
dice. The bonus
Because he didn't roll a raise, so he doesn't get to add the bonus
gotcha,
damage.
yeah.
So we're just adding that in.
It's a D6.
Okay. Oh my! I reduce it by 1. That is 1 wound. I'll track the wounds with what do you call it? 'Cause I'm stupidly using red. Let's use wounds with yellow. So you've got 1 wound on this thing, a vicious rent along the side of this thing. Hector, you're up next.
Let's see what these silver bullets can do.
Okay.
I should fire both. Oh, jeez.
You want to Benny that?
Definitely re-rolling that.
Hey, there's your. You got a raise on 1, and go ahead and re-roll the second.
Okay.
And a raise on the second one. So you got. Go ahead and roll damage for that first one.
First one.
Let's see here. Oh, doesn't seem to do anything. Roll damage for the second one.
God.
You want to spend a Benny and re-roll?
Yeah, I'm going to re-roll that second one.
Okay.
Oh, that's not much better.
Okay, so you're hitting this thing, but it does not seem to be getting through the. Doesn't seem. I mean, it's a big creature. Yeah, and even with the AP1, that doesn't really help. Dang. Then Ms. Radcliffe.
All right, she will be casting a bolt at the creature.
Okay.
How many power points am I able to put into a bolt?
I believe it caps out as what your. I mean, you can add as many as you want as long as you got it.
Okay.
It's just for the I actually don't know if that's the rules as written, but for right now, they're facing apocalyptic.
Yeah, she's ready to unload. She's ready to unload.
Spellburn.
Yep. Holy smokes! And a success. So that's going to do 4d6 damage.
Come on.
So roll damage and then add another 1d6 exclamation mark. Because that'll give us an exploding d6 on top of that. That's 11 right now.
Oh, 1d6 exclamation mark?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Come on, exploding dice. So that is an 11, 12, 13, 14 total with
Another one, maybe?
an AP equal to, I think isn't the AP equal to half the spellcasting? Or am I making that up? Is there any AP with the
I would say that on
bolts?
the.
It would say on the thing, yeah.
Not
Okay.
No.
So that is not quite good enough. You want to spend a Benny and re-roll? You get to re-roll all your damage. So go ahead and re-roll damage.
Okay.
There we go. Come on. Oh, for
Jeez.
re-roll that exploding.
Yes.
Okay. So it's along the side of this thing does not seem to affect it. All right. Next round. Here we go. Hector. 9. Where's that Joker? There we go. All right. So then, Brother Stone, you're getting +2 to all your actions this round. There should be another Joker along here sometime. There we go. There we go. Oh, anyone want to spend a Benny to get a new card? No? Okay. Then it is, Brother Stone, you can tell us whenever you want to act.
Yes, I will act first.
Okay.
I want a wild attack.
Nice.
So I get 2 attacks, right? Is that the right?
I think that's the way it is. You take 2 attacks, you get -2 to them, don't you? Was on the dagger or the sword? It tells you.
Oh
what
yeah, let me look at that.
Yeah.
You're vulnerable until the end of the attack.
There you go.
Next
+2
turn.
to hit, +2 to damage, but minus 2 to your parry.
That's fine.
Okay. Go ahead.
This is what he's like lived for, right?
Absolutely. Apocalyptic vampire bad
Well,
god.
the good thing is that the +2 cancels out. Okay, right. The +2.
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
Joker
Exactly.
Cancels
So
out.
+2 damage. So go ahead. That's not good enough. Go ahead for your second. And then you can choose whether to spend. With a gang up, that is enough.
Okay.
Schwack.
Okay, good. So I'll roll, and this damage is +4 now,
Oh, wow.
right? Because of the. Maybe should I reroll? I'll say I don't know why it's not showing up for me, but I have two bennies and 7 power points. I don't know why it's not showing.
Okay, I see. That's what I see on yours. Roll20 updated their tokens in a new way about a month ago, and it's just displaying fucked up for players ever since.
Okay. All right.
so-
Anyway, I'm going to roll damage.
Yep.
See how this goes.
Here we go. Come on. So that is with your fire. That's 13 plus 4 is 17. And AP 1.
Yes.
That'll be 2 more wounds on her. I have to spend a Benny
okay.
to soak. See if I can soak any of that. I can soak 1 of those. It's 1 more wound on her.
Okay.
That is 2. All right. Then is... did you want to spend a Benny and re-roll that first attack?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to
Okay.
reroll that was the first one. Reroll. You've got a D10. There you go.
That is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Oh,
Oh!
There you
Okay,
go.
so that is 24. So that's going to be 3 wounds on her. She
you got
needs to succeed with
At least
at
one.
least 2. I need to get a raise on my success here, yeah. I only got 1. What does it look like as this thing flares up and you kill Kamazov?
I think I just slice, and then I kind of slice in a frenzy, and then I come with the backhand because I missed that second frenzied strike, and the backhand just kind of slices across the midsection and probably hits the equivalent of Kazmatos's heart.
Yeah.
And then the holy fire just burns it from the inside.
And what the whole creature is completely immolated by your holy fire. But what actually falls and hits the ground is this charred skeleton of a woman. And at that, as soon as it hits the ground, silence elsewhere in the house.
So we don't hear all them bats no more.
The rest of the investigation, by comparison, is fairly tame. What you guys find is that while there is a great deal of guano to be found in the attic, no sign of those horrific creatures that you faced in Guatemala. You ready for that? Boom. While there is definitely a lot of materials to be found in here, including a lot of very as yet unknown. I'm trying to think of the word apparatuses, I guess, for that are of Mesoamerican design. I think Sir Benedict and Rachel, perhaps you agree that futzing around with it, trying to work it out, given the outcome in that California town, may not be the best way to go about learning this.
Certainly not here.
Okay. And I will leave it to... So other than that, it appears that the whatever plot that Dona Josefina has had in mind, it appears that you have thwarted it. So, what do we see as our outros for our characters? vignettes as we're catching up with what they're doing, waiting for their next case. Now that they've all come together, I think the suggestion from the Greater Rippers organization may be that you found a lodge here from which to, or perhaps in North America, in any event, to keep the team together, seeing that you were so effective against this world-ending threat. So where do we see our allies? Did some stay? Did some go? Are some settling in? What do you guys think?
Sir Benedict will stay in London and will happily provide funds and whatever is needed for setting up a lodge, and will also have a word with the right people to have that undersecretary removed from their post. And may have a word with Professor Adderall at the British Museum about the dangers of certain areas of research.
Okay.
Only in a friendly manner, of course.
Perhaps we see Sir Benedict in that same room that they were in before, but now there's a big, perhaps a thing that incorporates the heraldry of all 5 different organizations together, and you're getting that together. Who would like to go next and tell us how we last see our Ripper, or their Ripper?
I imagine heading off to a drinking establishment with Brother Ulysses, congratulating him, and just sort of talking about the to and the fro where we both went in there and how he lit up my axe, and I'll be quizzing him about that. And I think much toasting and drinking going on, and I'll probably show him a few of the local places that I know out down by the docks and whatever, and show him a bit of a good time out on the town.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Ulysses will not judge, but he will not partake in drink. He will drink a lot of tea.
Oh,
he's a man of faith, so he's probably like a teetotaler. But he appreciate, he'll make sure that
there is a
Victor does not.
There's a long-standing tradition of monastics making all sorts of fucked up alcohol. I believe most things like chartreuse and whatnot, that's all based on a dare. So, but yeah, you sit and enjoy, and Victor is just getting noisier and more boisterous. Hector or Rachel or Ms. Radcliffe?
Yeah, Hector. I mean, once this dies down, I think he'll find this life too quiet, too boring for him. He'll be heading back to where he's notorious, where his name is known, putting his life on the line, risking his reputation.
So we see him leaving on a steamship bound for Mexico.
Yeah, he'll be heading back to Mexico, but he'll find some way to keep in touch. So if there is ever like a world apocalyptic event again, then they know where to find a couple of guns.
Okay. And Ms. Radcliffe.
So I think that you would see like a lone tent sitting in a pretty barren desert area where Miss Radcliffe would be, and she inside of the tent would have the relics with her, doing some research and feeling out of the blast radius of civilization, so that she can learn as much as possible about their intent and how they work.
And I think we end with her eyes suddenly snapping open. They are black, and we hear the sound of the flapping of bat wings. And we cut to black. So, guys, first off, thank you so much for those listening at home. Thank you so much for joining us for our Brothers Green introductory session to Savage Worlds. So, Darren and Colin, this is your first time playing. What did you guys think of Savage Worlds?
I liked it. I liked the way the pace of the combat that nipped along at a nice pace for me. That and that kind of pulp feel that I was anticipating. It lived up to that reputation. So, yeah.
Good. Darren, what do you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I quite like the simplicity of basically you need a 4 all the time, so that you can fall into the system quite quickly. I know there's a few modifiers and things, but yeah, basically, it's once you've got that down, it's quite straightforward. And like I say, the pace is pretty quick, pretty good. And I've always liked the bennies and the re-rolls and things. Keep it alive. And introduction of cards makes it different, doesn't it?
Definitely,
Yeah, I like that Joker. That Joker came up at a great time.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's what the unanticipated. That's one thing I would say for those running the games too, is that this game, more than almost any other game I run, I really have to remind myself to not be precious about what I've thought is going to be the outcome of things. You got to be okay with, like, all right, they rolled really great, it's fucking done. You know, they don't need to have, like, well, this was supposed to be an encounter lasting blah 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 round. It's like, fuck it, just if it goes that way, it goes that way. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Because it really can be unpredictable. It's hard to plan for, especially if someone's dice are either cold or hot. It's very hard to, if someone can't roll to, a good number to save their life, this game is very unforgiving of that. Or if my dice are hot, which is sometimes a problem. Jamie, it was your second time playing. What do you think?
I loved it. The same as these guys. The flow is nice. I like the networking mechanic as well. I think that's really nice, and it was fun to peel the layers away at the game tonight with you guys.
It was cool too that for the networking too. I what I was thinking of is the advice behind Gumshoe of, like, look, like, trying to find clues is not the fun part of a mystery. Figuring out what you do with those clues, that's the fun thing. And I think that's how the networking is supposed to run. It should be revealed at the pace of, like, a 1 hour procedural of, like, just get the fucking clues to them, let the players start thinking about them, and then decide what action to take on the basis of that stuff. And Carl and David, I mean, you guys have played before already, but do you have any comments on Rippers or the outcome of today's session? Consistent with previous experience?
Yeah, it's good. I like Rippers. Yeah.
How much I love the system, and I want to run it again.
Nice. Yeah, and it's an enormous. I will say it's also ridiculously easy to prep. Like, this is a very easy game to prep and very easy to run with. Very low, customization. I used roughly monsters out of the Rippers book and then twist them to be what I want them to be, and it's otherwise a very nice. So much of it is, depends on what the players choose to do, and we didn't even get a chance to do a chase, which is a really fun mechanic. I've heard some people don't like the mechanic for the chases. I've always had fun with them. You set up, like, cards, and characters have to move along with it, and then, like, every time you come to a card that has a club on it, there's some like barrier that you got to come across. So it is a fun way of understanding where your progress is in a chase, while also understanding of, like, when there's going to be a threat coming up ahead. I found it to be really fun and a good thing, but I've heard people comment on some of the ones we run in here before that they hate that mechanic, so it may be the best we didn't play it. But in any event, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for this introductory. It seems that the heart of the Empire is safe, and that whole, if you find that vampires, the mythology of the vampires that I was incorporating into this, cool, 100% stolen from Riffs. That's very much the setup for vampires. I think it's super fucking cool. And so I adapted it more to the Rippers' sensibilities. But that's what vampires are like in Riffs, is they're not just like individual little things. They're actually agents, as everything is in Riffs, of some primordial, ancient, giant Cthulhuid, god. It's great stuff. If you have any comments, for those listening at home, comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we played, I mean, it's not a campaign, but the game, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. You can also find a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active, and we have channels there dedicated to this game, this campaign, and this game. Campaign. This game, every other campaign we run on the channel, as well as a ton of other great channels like Finding a Group, or DMs, or Dungeon Master, Game Master Advice, or convention chat. Like, there's tons of great people over there. You are more than welcome to join the community over there. There is also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really terrific organization, active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphan and abandoned children. All donations that go through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from it. And we have two small ways of saying thank you to those who are generous enough to donate through that link. One of them is that for every $25 Canadian that you donate, you get one chance to win the grand prize or one of the other great prizes in our next charity raffle. The next raffle will be in December 2022. And if you want to see what prizes were given away last time, head on over to the Charity Initiatives channel on the Dungeon Musings Discord server, and you can see a full list of everything given away. The second way we say thank you is that we often run charity sessions, and our next charity session will be at the end of the month, November 26th. We'll be returning to a channel favorite, Conan: Adventures in an Age Undreamed Of, published by Modifius Entertainment. We currently have voting going on for what kind of Conan story we're going to be playing. The voting is between the barbarian, the mercenary, the pirate, and the thief. And the voting is neck and neck currently. Once that is done, on Sunday, we'll have our next port of it. And then I didn't mean to say port of it to slant it in favor of pirates. I just fucked up because my tongue don't work no more. Then we'll be voting on another element of it, and once we've concluded all that voting, we will then have the session, and it's going to be a lot of fun. That game is, we've been running it since it was in like the beta test phase on the channel, and it's always a lot of fun getting back to the Hyperborean or the Hyborian world with that one. And again, all donations that you make give you a chance to not only have a say on what we're playing on the channel, not only win some great gaming stuff, it also is a chance to help out some kids who could really use some help. The last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart Savage players for today. So Darren, Carl, David, Spoikpit, and Jamie, thank you so much for playing today, guys. And Colin, it was lovely seeing you once again, too. I know that life is keeping you quite busy, but it is always a pleasure to have you back on the channel.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Kev, and nice to meet a couple of new guys here, Jamie and David, and always good to catch up with Carl. Obviously, I see my brother all the time, but it's good to
do you guys know each other, you and Darren? I'm not sure if...
Looks familiar.
Don't see the resemblance.
That's my obligatory uncle joke for the session. So with that, I'll say to those listening at home, once again, thank you so much for joining us for the Brothers Green Savage session. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.